600 times. Now the general says, "Sir, are you ready?" I said, "I'm ready, General. Where we going now?" You have to understand, I left early in the morning to get there. Now it's sort of late in the afternoon. A lot of these fakers are with us, so they know. He said, "Sir, we can now leave the stage." I said, "Great General, let's go. I'll follow you." And he goes like this right here, sir, and I walked off. The stage was higher than this one, and the ramp was probably 10 yards long. I said, "General, now you gotta understand, I have a whole corps of cadets looking at me, and I want them to love their presidents. I did this big thing. I love them. I love them. They're incredible. And they do." I said, "General, I got myself a problem, General, because I'm wearing leather bottom shoes, which is good if you're walking on flat surfaces. It's not good for ramps. And if I fell down, look at all these press back there. Look at them. This was a steel ramp." You all saw it because everybody saw it. And it was a steel ramp. It had no handrail. It was like an ice skating rink. And I said, "General, I have a problem." And he didn't understand that at first. I said, "There's no way." He understood. I just saluted almost 600 times. I just made a big speech. I said, for other speeches, I'm being baked like a cake. I said, "General, there's no way I can make it down that ramp without falling on my ass, General. I have no railing." It's true. So I said, "Is there something else around, sir? The ramp is ready to go. Grab me, sir, grab me." I didn't really want to grab him. You know why? Because I said that will be a story too. So now I have a choice. I can stay up there for another couple hours and wait till I'm rescued, or I can go down this really steep ramp. Really, 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 really. It's an ice skating rink. It's brutal. So I said, "General, get ready because I may grab you so fast. Because I can't fall with the fake news watching. If I fall. I remember when President Ford fell out of the plane. Do you remember? I remember when another president, nice man, threw up in Japan. And they did slow motion replays. It's true, right? I don't want that, General." Now he's standing there, big strong guy, and he's got these shoes, but they're loaded with rubber on the bottom. Because the first thing I did, I looked at his shoes, then I looked at mine, very, very slippery. So I end up saying, "Okay, General, let's go. I will only grab you if I need you." That's not a good story. Falling would be a disaster. It turned out to be worse than anything. Would have been better off if I fell and slid down the damn ramp, right? So what happens is, I start the journey, inch by inch, right? I was really bent over too. I didn't like that. I didn't like this picture. This picture, I'm sure, will be an ad by the fakers. So I was bent over like this. Then we finally reached almost the end. And the fake news, the most dishonest human beings, they cut it off. You know why? Because I was 10 feet short. I said, "General, I'm sorry." And I ran down the rest, right? I looked very handsome. Oh, that was the only good. I wouldn't want to run because the fall, there would be definitely bad. So I took these little steps. I ran down the last 10. And by the way they're take a look. To almost every instance it ends just before I run. And they said, here was the #1 trending story. Finished saluting. My final salute, I said, thank goodness, thank you very much. Think of it, so essentially almost 600 times. Now the general says, sir, are you ready? I said, I'm ready, General. Where are we going now? You have to understand, I left early in the morning to get there. Now it's sort of late in the afternoon. A lot of these fakers are with us, so they know. He said, sir, we can now leave the stage. I said, great General, let's go. I'll follow you. And he goes like this right here, sir, and I walked off. The stage was higher than this one, and the ramp was probably 10 yards long. I said, General, now you gotta...
Hello everyone and welcome to the happy hour. I am Kristi and I didn't transition properly. There we go. Hey everyone, how you doing? I am here with my fellow eponymous show host named Kevin Logan. Kevin, how are you doing tonight?
Is that really my name, or am I actually Jesus Christ of Nazareth?
Or are you Kurt? Kurt Flogan.
I'm certainly Kurt in the
yes, C-U-R-T. And some people would say
yes.
You're another C word that has 4 letters, but not me.
I am a great cook. You're absolutely correct.
Brilliant.
Yes. Yes. So, how are you?
I'm sweating, and it's a little bit on the warm side here, but honestly, yeah, I'm mostly fine, and yeah. I'm excited to talk about tonight's topic. I did a lot of preparation, actually, to get this show right. But it was something I'd been thinking about doing anyway, so it's not a bad time to do it, really.
Well, just as a blatant piece of advertising, but it's also true. On my Twitch, because I'm broadcasting this on my Twitch as well, I've got my camera set up, so I'm testing to see if it actually works when I stream, type of situation. So if you want to go and see my beautiful visage whilst we're talking shit at the start here, you can do that there. Give me a cheeky follow. It's all good. Anyway, I've gone for a slightly more attention-grabbing headline than I think you have for your title, Krista.
What's yours?
Mine is called Fingering Ben Shapiro's Wet-Ass P-Word.
Yeah, you're kind of burying the lead. Well, I guess in terms of the stories, yeah, you're only focusing on the one.
Into Ben Shapiro's P-Word, absolutely.
Yeah. So sadly, those of you who turned in to listen to Kevin talk about fingering Ben Shapiro, that's not going to come up for at least a half hour. We've got something else on the docket that Kevin didn't mention in the title at all. So sorry about that. Come back in a half hour if that's what you want to watch.
Well, yeah, because no, stick around for that as well. But I'm bringing them in with talk of Ben Shapiro's P-word being female genitalia. We'll get on to it, honest. But yeah, there's also Ben Shapiro's non-existent vagina is actually more relevant than Milo has ever been.
True, but we're not really going to talk so much about Milo tonight, to be fair. Happily.
No, but he's involved in the other thing, isn't he?
Yes, in the debate. You can just say what it is. We're going to take a look at the Jangles Milo debate. And Kevin's not seen it yet, so this will be the first time he'll at least see the first part of it. So,
pardon me.
Gesundheit. COVID.
Yes, indeed.
Hopefully not.
No, well, no, COVID doesn't make you sneeze. It's not an actual flu. Jesus.
I just call everything.
I also don't have like black sinuses and fucking hearing problems or something.
Can you still smell?
Well, unfortunately, given the pits at the moment, yes. Yes.
Did you move like 5 feet away from your mic?
No, I'd move my microphone slightly down. Shall I move it slightly closer?
Well, yeah, your volume levels dropped significantly, and I didn't change the volume.
Shut up, woman.
All right, so I'm gonna have to turn you up a little bit in order for our levels to be the same. So there we go.
Really?
Yep.
Why did it? Hang on. I didn't move it that far away. Is that not the same as it was before? No.
Well, I'm compensating now, so it's hard for me to tell because people couldn't hear. Someone mask that Kev. He's contagious. Says Rory Katz.
Fuck you, Rory Katz. You're not even a real cat. You're pretending to be a cat. So, shut up.
All right.
Anyway, so I need to screen share with you, don't I? No, I need to screen share with the other people.
Yes.
Yeah. There we go.
All right, talk us through your tech, Kevin. That's great.
No, I'm expecting you to fucking talk about the thing. You haven't even got anything on the screen. Jesus.
Yeah, deflection. Okay, right. So yes, I'm gonna open this up. I don't know how to do a dark night mode version for Word. So it's just going to be super, super bright, for which I apologize, but there's nothing I can do.
Talk us through your tech, Kristi.
Well, the thing is, that's what I'm displaying, so people know what I'm talking about, whereas like people on YouTube don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, people on YouTube can fuck off. They should be watching. Well, actually, they can't watch my face now. We're watching you zooming or something now.
Yep, I was trying to get the
You're zooming on Zoom.
I'm zooming on Zoom. Yes. All right. There was a debate a couple days ago with Jangles and Milo.
Should we explain who Jangles is?
Yeah, I don't really know who they are.
Jangles the science lad. They're like a leftist YouTube person, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I was actually following them on Twitter, but I follow a lot of people. I don't even know who they are.
Yeah. And apologies if you can hear my neighbours shouting at each other in the garden. The windows are open because I might die if they're not open. So that's if you can hear that. Apologies.
Die from heat?
It's too hot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Right. So
no, usually, I mean, I am also too hot for my own good, obviously, but that's a different matter entirely.
Anything else you want to say about Jangles? They have a YouTube channel.
Well, no, just a leftist YouTuber, just in case people didn't know, because he's not like super famous or anything, is he?
No, I don't think so. Right. So he was on Modern Day Debates. I think the pronoun he is correct. I'm going to use it because I've seen other people using it to refer to Jangles. And I think the general takeaway that most people had from this debate was that Milo got emotional about an hour into it, like about 65 minutes or 70 minutes into it. He gets really emotional, and that seems to be, at least on the left, the only thing people were really talking about. And I saw advertisements, people saying, oh, Jangles, it's kind of like, oh, he pwned him so bad. And it kind of, in some ways, the community's reaction reminded me a bit of the whole pwnage fad that was big against feminists. And so I had heard...
I remember pwnage back when I was a young man. Yeah.
Yep. So I was reading tweets saying, oh my gosh, Milo got destroyed. And I was like, well, I'll watch that because that would be entertaining. And then I watched it and I was so much less than impressed. And I'm going to explain why. Now, actually, last night, Jangles and I had...
Is this one... Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, is this one of those things where everyone, like the hardcore people on both sides, regardless of what actually gets said or done, will always claim that they won?
I think that's my takeaway.
Okay.
That's my...
No, I was just wondering because I haven't seen anything. So.
Sure, yeah. That's why this is not going to be a popular opinion, but it's also my opinion, and I can't lie to people that they did a good job when they didn't, because I think feedback should make you better. Hello, Vespa down the road. I don't know if you guys could hear that. Right. So last night, actually,
It wouldn't be the same without some cologne traffic.
Mm.
It's furniture in our show house.
Yes.
That's a thing.
It just happens. I think I'm not gonna characterize it anymore, because for people who haven't seen it yet, I think I've said enough. I don't want to kind of add any more. I was going to talk about a conversation I had with Jangles last night, but I'll do that afterwards if I remember, because we had a little exchange on Twitter. So what I did today over my lunch hour was I wrote down the things when I am asked to do a debate, and I do a debate. This is what I think about. This is how I construct my opening argument, because all the times I've debated, I have taken the affirmative position. I have always gone first. So I have a pretty clear idea of my strategy, and I want to walk everyone through it so that they understand where I'm coming from when I'm assessing Jangles' opening statement. And again, we're not going to talk about Milo, because I don't really care what Milo said. I just wanted to focus on, is the left doing the best it can? So
just quickly on Milo, how do you think Milo did? Just a brief thing.
Can we say that after we watch Django's opening? Because again, I don't kind of want to characterize anything until after people have an opportunity to see it for themselves.
Yeah, go for it, man.
All right, so these are my notes on how to do an opening statement preparation when you go first in a YouTube debate. I'm going to read this out, and I know people might read ahead. Please try not to, just follow along with my points. So the overall goals in general, the executive summary of this document, is you should frame the debate on your terms. You need to give a direct answer to the debate question that people will remember. Define key concepts on your terms. Inform your audience as well as try to persuade them. Cite outside examples to appear objective, because, if you just say, here's my opinion, that's not convincing to people. I think it's good to include empirical evidence to point to things. And then finally, make your conclusions seem obvious and logical given your definitions and example. Now I'm going to unpack that, and I have organized this into different phases of your work when going first in a debate. The first phase is your preparation phase. You should look at the wording of the question and shape everything you write to that question or statement wording. So the first rule is answer the question, answer the question, answer the question. Make sure you identify and address every key concept included in the wording of the statement. I think there was a debate with Jordan Peterson and Zizek about capitalism and socialism. Neither of them gave good definitions or any definitions, and they just talked shit the whole time. That was a key.
Peterson's amazing, because his entire understanding was from just reading the very short book, the Communist Manifesto, as if no one's ever written anything about socialism which might have slightly defined things a little better than like a 50-page book.
That is the first rule that I always try to follow. The next is identify your target audience. Who are you trying to convince? Debate judges? Are you speaking in front of a university audience of faculty? Or are you speaking to a YouTube audience? So when I'm on YouTube, I always shape my argument to be directed at those who are uncommitted and possibly persuadable in order to convince them, or people who are hostile to me, to force them to reconsider their views. I never, ever, ever direct my arguments at people who already agree with me. Otherwise, what's the point of debate? So shaping your argument to your audience is key. That leads on to, all right, now that I know my audience, what can I reasonably assume my audience knows or doesn't know? Like, this should really shape the language you use and the kinds of things that you have to define in order to keep everybody following your line of thought. So when I write my debate openings, I pitch them about the level of high school seniors or first-year undergraduates. Not any more complicated than that. I also...
You have a lot more faith than me in internet people.
Well,
I talk to them like they're fucking 5, because a lot of them are.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of where I've been pitching things. So I also, if there are concepts I need to define, I make sure I note them, and at some point in my opening statement, I define them so everybody listening is on the same page, and I include those definitions somewhere in my opening. And then I always see my job as not only to persuade, but to inform. If I'm debating on a topic, that means I'm more of an expert on this topic than the people in the audience are. Therefore, it's my job to make sure they understand the ideas I'm using or drawing on or citing when I'm making my arguments. If they don't understand a word I use, I can't be convincing. If I talk about a postmodern perspective on epistemology to a YouTube audience, there's no way that people are going to follow that. I've just narrowed down the people I can convince to about 4. So all of these things are your preparation before you even get started. Next is planning your offense. So the way that I plan my offense is I decide on a 1-sentence summary of my position or answer to the statement. Something that I can make a linchpin. I can repeat it over and over at different points to show people how everything connects together. The next thing is, given the constraints of 1, 2, 3, and 4, for the topics I had above here, the audience and what they know and inform and persuade, okay, what is a persuasive line of argument I can make in support of my 1-sentence summary in the time I have? If I have 30 minutes, I can say a lot more than I can cover in 10 minutes. So I have to be able to shape whatever that persuasive line of argument is to what I can accomplish in the time that I have. Now, if I decide I can't convincingly answer the question as worded, given those constraints, then I have to start over and redefine the opening statement in a way where I can do all of those things. Right? If you can't answer the question, redefine the question in a way that you can answer it. It's always about getting to an answer. Next, in my offense planning phase, I identify the terms or the concepts that I need to define so that people can follow my argument. And if I need to, I'll put in source definitions, but I won't cite ones that undermine the point that I'm trying to make. So just a little strategy.
An aside here, completely unrelated to the very interesting stuff you're putting forward here. Why don't I have a blue wrench?
Where are you in the chat?
It doesn't matter. But why don't I have a blue wrench?
I would imagine it's because when I'm on the show with you, you're not typing in the chat because you should be listening to me, and therefore I've never seen you in order to give you a blue. I thought you had a wrench.
Well, I haven't typed anything in the chat, so I don't even know what you're talking about. But I mean, why haven't I got a blue wrench?
How do you know you don't have a blue wrench?
Woman's intuition.
Okay. So is that a specific thing that you want to address in the middle of my talk here, or is that just a way to interrupt me and screw up the flow?
Well, no, I was just because someone blocked me, and I thought it would be good to get one over on a fake cat.
Someone blocked you in my chat?
No, Rory Katz was threatening to.
Oh, all right.
But, yeah.
I'm really glad you're listening so attentively to what I have to say, Kevin. Your
Kristi,
support warms my heart.
No, Kristi, I've listened to everything you have to say, and I think it's very good. But what can I add to it? I can't add anything to that, what you're saying, because it's what you do. So what can I fucking say about it?
Oh, well, I guess you can ask me about your blue wrench. And take me off my game.
Well, my blue wrench is distracting. So.
All right. Okay, can I get back to, so we can get on with this and then get on to the debate so you can see how Jangles did?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. So, point 9, and this is really, really important. This is really important. It's a quote that was given to me by a colleague, and I've quoted it ever since. No one cares what you think, only what you can demonstrate. When you go do these debates, the force of your personality and awesomeness are not going to just win people over. You're not going to wow people through YouTube. So that means that you need to be able to include things like historical facts or events or studies or something else that helps make your argument less than just your personal opinion and about things in the world that people can think about and go, yeah, I see where that happens. Another thing I do tactically is I construct moments or points where I can get the audience to agree with me. So, and then I'll be really super obvious about the fact that we all agree on X. So you might say, if you agree that X, then you have to, you should also agree with me that blah, blah, blah. Right? Find points where you kind of build that connection of agreement with the audience. And then write the draft structure for your debate. Include the debate statement wording verbatim. Tell the audience exactly what your argument will be in one sentence, not more than 2 maximum, early on, so that they know what they're going to hear. List the concept that you need to define and write down your definitions. Bullet point the logic of your argument from A to B to C to your conclusion. And then include lines where you explicitly link individual points to your rationale. So have points where you're pointing back to your answer. Over 10 minutes, people will forget. Then I always do a defensive planning phase in my debate openings. Dominate how the issue is framed. That's your advantage when you go first. So the other thing that you can do besides basically determining the terrain on which you want to fight the debate is anticipate your opponent's counter arguments and undermine them in your opening. Now, it's pretty difficult to predict what people are going to say, but it's still a useful exercise because you can always kind of throw in, you look very reasonable when you concede some things, but then pick yes, that's not the case there, but I think that this is reasonable and I do want to defend this, as opposed to looking very ideologically rigid. And when someone like Milo has so many public statements, you could actually go out and find public statements that he's made, quote him, and then undermine him before he even has a chance to do his opening. Right? So there's really good ways you can defensively protect yourself against what you think your opponent is going to say in opposition to your position. Then write out your opening statement and make sure you fill the whole time. If you have 10 minutes, write for 10 minutes. If you have 30 minutes, write for 30 minutes. Because if you give 2 minutes back to your opponent, you've just conceded 2 minutes of your time to them. That's like a loss. Reinforce your argument when you're writing it out, your statement, by making sure you repeat it a couple times throughout it. Bring everything together in your closing. So the idea of your opening statement is you want to take people on a little journey. You want to introduce them to some ideas. You want to build an argument. You want to throw in some examples that strengthen your argument. You might want to then anticipate some counter arguments and then anticipate them. And then at the end, you kind of have to say, so this is all the things I've just told you. Let me just sum it all up so that you make sure that you understand my main points. It's the whole tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them what tell them, and then tell them what you told them logic. Finally, rehearse. You have to make sure you can get through everything you've covered in the time you have. You don't want to get 3/4 of the way through and you've run out of time and you can't do your closing. So it's really important that you cover the amount of everything you need to in the time you have. And then the final tactical thing that I didn't think I had to explain, but I realized I do have to explain. Don't become a distraction in the debate. You want people to focus on what you say, not what you do. So how do you do that? First, you're super gracious. You thank the moderator, you thank your debate opponent, and you thank the audience at the beginning and at the end. Next, be polite. If your opponent starts making petty or personal attacks, rise above them. You're not there to get praise or to get in a spat. You are there to be persuasive. And generally, if your opponent is making a personal attack against you, anyone who is neutral will sympathize with you if you handle it graciously, if you keep it to debating the topic of the debate, not individuals. And then finally, if you have direct objections or some sort of problem with where the debate is going, don't get in an argument with your opponent. Appeal to the moderator. That's what they're there for. They're there to moderate time, content, whatever else. So, just appeal to the judge if you think something is unfair. When I did this debate back in July, Shadow Dancer kept asking me my opinion on abortion, and I just turned to the mod and I said, I don't understand. I thought we were debating third wave feminism. I don't think it's relevant for me to answer my personal opinion about abortion. And he said, yeah, we're here to debate third wave feminism, not abortion. So that's how I think.
Well, in favor of baby murder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Good.
All right. I have an example here. I have actually, and I'm sorry, Kevin, I know I told you I was going to dominate a lot of this opening, but you get the Ben Shapiro what SP second part of the show. So one thing about this is I only had
now you go on, man.
Okay. I only had a day to put this together because we didn't finalize the wording of the debate statement until the day of the debate or the morning of. So this isn't, I probably could have done an even better job with more time, but I still think that what I put together, one, it lasted 10 minutes and it covered everything I wanted to do. And tactically, my whole idea was to both make an argument in favor of third wave feminism, but then also show that third wave feminists, any criticism you have against them is sort of like what we have to deal with as Americans with the founding fathers, because we were debating right before 4th of July. And they did more morally egregious things, but we don't judge their ideas of equality because they were flawed human beings. And we shouldn't condemn third wave feminism because of a few individuals. So that was my sort of implicit thing. All right, if you're okay, I'm going to go ahead and read my opening, unless you want to jump in here and say anything about any thoughts you had and give me a chance to drink some water.
All right. Yeah, I think that was incredibly thorough. I think people should be fucking impressed by everything. I mean,
I did that on my lunch hour.
Read out. See, this is the difference between Kristi and I. That would have taken me about 2 months to put together. So anyway, but yeah, no, I think I'm impressed.
Okay,
and as
thank you.
we're about to see later, what gets people wet can differ.
Yes.
So,
all the nerdies in the house. All right. Okay, so here was my opening statement. You guys can see it on the screen. I'm just going to read it out. Thank you to James and Modern Day Debates for hosting this debate, as well as to Shadow Dancer for taking part, and to those of you in the audience for giving me, and all of us, your time and attention. Tonight, I will argue that third wave feminism has had a more positive than negative effect in North America, and in particular, I will focus on my home country, the United States. For me, the premise that third wave feminism has had a more positive effect than negative effect is an easy argument to make because for all the good that first and second wave feminism and feminist activists did for women and men, it is undeniable that those earlier waves of feminist activism were seen from and focused upon the concerns of upper and middle-class white women. I will argue here tonight that if the aim of feminist critique and activism are societies in which women fully enjoy the same rights and privileges that men enjoy, then those goals of equality must include all women, not only cis, straight, white, upper and middle class women. Until the third wave, Western feminism, both in theory and in practice, was not broadly inclusive. Right up until the latter part of the 20th century, Western feminism primarily reflected the concerns and the worldviews of white women. Now, before I go further, I want to make it very clear that this same critique can be applied to the founding fathers of the United States. America's earliest version of equality reflected the concerns and the worldviews of educated, well-to-do white men in the same way earlier waves of feminism were centered on well-to-do white women's concerns. Let's take as an example Thomas Jefferson, who wrote that all men are created equal. Jefferson meant only men, not women. And Jefferson didn't even think all men were created equal. His view of who was... Oh.
He also wrote I like big butts and I cannot lie. So
he might have.
I mean, how much do we want to read into his, sick lyrics?
His view of who was a full human being was limited to white men. Jefferson and his contemporaries' sexism denied all women their basic humanity, and their racism denied Black, brown, and Native American men their basic humanity. More egregiously, Jefferson was extolling the virtues of the equality of men while at the same time keeping men, women, and children enslaved for his own financial benefit. Jefferson's hypocrisy makes us uncomfortable in the 21st century, and rightly so. Hence, people nowadays routinely rescue Jefferson from his racism and sexism. It's almost a Yeah?
Can you just point out that Haruka in the chat has taken it to a new level?
Okay, go ahead. Interrupt my flow. No, what was it? What did they write?
Lime green dildo.
Nice.
But in like a 20 fucking comments. What's that? I mean, I've already heard you say this before, so I mean,
you listened to my debate. Okay.
Yeah, I think I watched it live, if I recall.
Oh, I didn't know. Thanks for that. Okay, where was I? It is almost a reflex now for people to retcon Jefferson's words into, we hold these truths to be self-evident, evidence is wrong in the there, that all people are created equal. In the 21st century, we choose to reinterpret Jefferson's unequal notion of equality to mean universal human equality. We choose, against Jefferson's original intent, to believe in a fundamental human equality that applies to every person regardless of their ethnic background, economic status, their gender or gender identity, their age or disabilities, whatever they may have. And in my opinion, we are right to reject Jeffersonian equality for our own version. On this July 3rd, the day before Americans celebrate our independence, I emphasize that today we consider it patriotic to reject the limited notion of Jeffersonian equality. Even throughout the 20th century, when we compare our ideals of equality to what non-white people experienced, the mismatch is obvious. How could America be said to be the land of equality when we had legal structures that imposed and enforced racial segregation? Second-wave feminism had a similar blind spot. The mainstream feminist perspectives focused on the concerns and struggles of white women without addressing distinct forms of oppression faced by women of color and other women lacking in privilege. This sort of feminism has come to be known as white feminism. And it is entirely fair to ask, how could second-wave feminism claim to care about all girls and women equally, when the only voices that carried any weight were well-educated, financially well-off white women? In short, it could not. Just as we as Americans had to do self-reflection, self-critique, and then expand and extend our understanding beyond the sexist and racially discriminatory Jeffersonian view of the equality of men, so too has 20th century feminism and feminists had to reckon with a far too limited view of equality. So if you agree it is right and proper for people in the 21st century to revise and expand Jefferson's limited 18th century view of equality, then you will also agree with me that the earlier waves of feminism that were centered on white women's concerns should be similarly reformed to include all girls and women and all girls and women's experiences. And third wave feminism is the name that we give to that reform. The most powerful criticisms that third wave feminists have leveled have been not directly against sexism, misogyny, and or patriarchy, but against white feminism, demanding that all feminists rethink who is included when we think about the ways in which women are oppressed by sexism, misogyny, and or patriarchy. The third wave solution to this narrow casting of white feminist activism is intersectionality, a theoretical and analytical framework developed by Kimberly Crenshaw in 1989. A simple yet powerful observation that our experiences of the world is shaped by the many ways others in the world perceive us. That is to say, the roles of our ethnic background, how much money we have, our gender and gender identity, sexual orientation, class location, education, and so forth, must all be taken into consideration. By applying intersectional analysis to issues that girls and women face, it highlights the ways in which our experiences will differ depending on other aspects of where we intersect with being a girl or woman. Third wave feminism has had a more positive effect than negative because it has been a critique of white feminism and narrowly defined feminist activism. Examples of third wave feminism in action are the recent marches in conjunction with Black Lives Matter that focused on Black trans women, a group that has seen 18 women murdered in the first 6 months of 2020. Intersectional third wave feminism is the reason people are more aware of the plight of undocumented women who are sexually assaulted and then may feel they can't report the crimes committed against them due to fear of deportation. Unless we want to create a class of sexual predators who are safe from prosecution as long as their victims are undocumented, feminist activism must seek solutions to that keep all women safe. Third wave feminism, intersectional feminism, makes that possible. As Flavia Zozan wrote, "My feminism will be intersectional or it will be BS." She has a point. To say that third wave feminism has been more negative than positive is to misunderstand the main criticisms of third wave feminism. They have been inward-looking criticisms that call out white feminism as unrepresentative and inadequate to the task of understanding the variety of forms of oppression and the need to encompass the totality of all girls' and women's experiences. In the same way, we as Americans now hold ourselves to a more perfect understanding of equality than did Jefferson, third wave feminists have done important work in demanding that the equality sought by first and second wave feminists be sought on behalf of all girls and women, not only white girls and women. Finally, I would like to address a common criticism of third wave feminism, that somehow the actions of a few individual feminists, often stereotyped in a 2015 sort of way as blue-haired, college-aged third-wave feminists, have somehow hurt the feminist movement. To that I would say that is akin to saying that the American values of equality is completely invalid because Jefferson, a main proponent of that form of equality, enslaved Black men and women, and even worse, he exploited and for decades sexually violated Sally Hemings, a woman who gave birth to 4 of his children, children whom he only freed in his will as part of a treaty he agreed with Hemmings. And yet, Americans do not wholesale reject the concept all people are created equal because Thomas Jefferson was a moral failure. Let's be honest. Can
I just repeat my joke, which I made at the time, which was at least there was one American president who wanted a treaty with a person of color.
Oh, oh, yep. Did you make that at the time while it was live?
I believe so. Yes, and no one got the joke really because it was going by too fast. But anyway.
Okay. Let's be honest. There's nothing any third wave feminist has done or said that rises to the level of immorality of Jefferson's perpetuating human slavery, in his sexual exploitation of Sally Hemings, or in keeping his own children as slaves. We understand that ideals and the idea of equality of persons are more than the product of any one flawed human being. In closing, to reject third wave feminism is to embrace white feminism. To reject third wave feminism is to ignore the lives of millions of girls and women because they are not cis or white or have a college degree or are well off. Third wave feminism has had a positive effect in America because it has and continues to demand more of our egalitarian aspirations and to leave not a single girl or woman behind. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I think that's a pretty clear, organized, rousing, if I do say so myself, well-argued opening. All right?
I disagree. I think there should have been a lot more swearing.
In yours, there might have been. Might have been. All right, so now having set that as the standard by which I judge leftists.
And this is the same channel that you did your thing on, isn't it?
Exact same channel. Yeah. So now we're going to get, I don't know why it's got the chat up here. Let's just remind ourselves. Okay. Is white fragility real? That's the name of the debate. And I will pause it at any time you need me to. And then after we talk about this, I'll kick it over to you to share, and you can talk about the Ben Shapiro thing. I guess we can do a little bit of analysis.
Yeah.
But, okay. I haven't checked the volume.
We'll watch it as we do with anything else.
Correct. True. All right. Here we go.
YouTube, and want to let you know, folks, we are very excited for this discussion. Justin, aka Jangles, will be getting the ball rolling as he will be taking the affirmative position that white privilege does indeed exist. Then Milo will be taking his opening, and so with that,
hang on, whoa.
Let me just check.
Yep.
Is it white privilege exists or white fragility exists?
Yeah, it's white fragility. Yes. No, it's a good point.
There's overlap, but they're not synonymous.
No, that's true. That's absolutely fair correction to point out. And that's why I think James lifted his hand and said, oh, it's fragility, not privilege. Because as you say...
Oh, sorry, does it? Okay.
Oh, if you can you see, he's in the upper right-hand corner there? So,
okay. Oh, no, there are 2 Jameses. That's really annoying. Sorry.
Yeah, so that's why one is Jangles and the other one is James. So yeah, this is Jangles here.
So when you said James, I thought you meant the James Kuntz. That's his name.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought. Well, anyway, I'll just call him Jangles. Okay, here we go.
Check really quick. Any feedback on the audio? All good, Justin?
Oh, Justin, not James. Sorry, my bad.
Hello.
Excellent.
Take me. All right.
We will kick it over to you. Thanks so much for being here. Well, let me first just say hello and thanks for being here, though, guys. Really appreciate you hanging out with us. Thanks, Justin, for being here.
Oh,
Thank
my
you, Milo,
God.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I just realised Milo's shirt says
is all yours, Justin.
Black
Yes.
Cutter.
Yep, he's a prick.
Like, the joke I do about him constantly talking about black cocks.
He's doing.
Like, he's literally embodied right now.
Yep.
And by the way, I'm not saying that black cocks don't matter.
No.
Because
But
I believe that all cocks matter, okay?
it just goes to, the stereotype of his using that line over and over and over and over again.
He uses... Yeah, and of course he... by the way, they've misspelled his name with 2 I's. Brilliant. but secondly, they've got... he sees black men as meat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Okay, hitting play.
Cool. So, the term white fragility, James, The term white fragility was more or less coined by Robin DiAngelo, a liberal huckster who wants to profit off the pain and suffering of marginalized people to sell a book pretending that a real and viable way to combat the unconscionable racial disparities still present in our country is to hire more HR reps to discipline white people who say racist jokes. Possibly the only thing sadder than this book's success and notoriety is the absolute meltdown that conservatives are having over it because its entitled insinuated that they might not be as tough as they think they are. A reaction so poetic and beautiful that I'd pay to see it in theaters, if not for the fact that we can't go to theaters anymore because of a virus that's disproportionately killing people of color due to racist housing and wealth distribution policies that we never got around to fixing. Because the discourse around this book is garbage, and I didn't write it in the first place, this will be the last time I mention DiAngelo's book in my opening statement or in the debate as a whole. Instead, I'm going to talk about slavery. Not historical plantation slavery, but like modern day slavery. Quick aside, there's still slavery.
Can we just pause for a second? I think there's a good point generally about some of the discussion around that book. Firstly, I mean, he's going off on weird, disparate tangents now about going to theaters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole thing you gave there, which I mean, it's not a Bible. It's there are obviously some ways that if you have a certain rhetorical flourish that you can use that don't necessarily fit into your guidelines,
Exactly.
but it's so far away from being concise. Like I don't even know what the fuck he's saying so far. And I know basically the argument he wants to try and make because I've heard leftists talk about this before. That's fine. But I still can't pass exactly what the fuck he's trying to get at.
There's a
which
reason.
Is bad because I already know what he means and I can't understand him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I very much wanted to explain my rationale and give an example to contrast what I do to what he does.
Yeah.
So.
And not just that, but it's like, I'm not going to mention the book again because the whole reason that people are talking about white fragility is because that book's successful at the minute. That's the whole reason this debate's even happening in the way it's happening.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, I mean, I think there are better ways to have handled that section than just throwing DiAngelo and the book under the bus. But I'll wait a little bit. I want you to react. I've done a lot of the talking, so I'm more interested in your reaction.
Okay.
Ready to? If I hit play?
Yeah.
Okay. Say I'll interrupt any time and I'll hit pause. So.
Cool beans.
Did you know that? So, like today, right now, as you're watching or listening to this,
sorry, I'm going to go back
slaves.
A little bit
like
because
modern
we missed a few seconds. So just to make sure you don't miss anything.
Talk about slavery.
Yeah.
Not historical plantation slavery, but like modern day slavery. Quick aside, there's still slaves. Did you know that? So, like today, right now, as you're watching or listening to this, slaves still make a lot of stuff in places like Pakistan, Uzbekistan, Uganda, the Philippines, and even Russia that then get bought by people here in the West. If you drink coffee with sugar while looking at your cell phone before putting on your clothes in the morning, you've almost certainly bought something that came into your hands by way of modern slavery. Given that, we can make a few assumptions. So you probably don't wish active harm on these people, on these victims of slavery, and you'd much prefer to see them, not be slaves. You were born into a country with an economic system that makes avoiding these products very difficult, beyond what a reasonable person could be expected to know and do. And you almost certainly had no direct say in the policies and trade agreements that would allow this modern slavery to continue. However, we can also state a few facts. The reason you are not one of these slaves is due to factors beyond your control, and not in any reasonable sense due to the virtue of your personal decisions. The reason these people are slaves is in huge part thanks to factors beyond their control, and not in any reasonable sense due to the lack of virtue in their own decisions. You have, in no uncertain terms,
can we just pause for a second?
Sure.
Contribute.
Yep.
Because we just listened to another minute or so, or whatever, of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I agree generally with the point he's saying. I can't say that he's factually inaccurate in anything he said in that little thing about slavery. That's true, and it's disgusting. But of what relevance is that to anything? He's talked for 2 or so minutes now, 2 or 3 minutes, and hasn't said anything.
Yep.
He hasn't at any point said why he thinks white fragility is a thing. He's shit on all he's done is shit on the one thing about white fragility that people have heard of, the book. He hasn't defined the concept or told us why it's a thing. Like, he might have some great like finishing point, but that's what you say for the main body of the thing, or for the discussion part of it.
Your reaction at this point is the exact same reaction I was having at this point. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, look, I mean, technically you can say, well, I wasn't being incorrect. That's not really the point, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I set up about a tenth of my argument, and then I made parallels to Jefferson, right? But I made them explicit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not just that, but you outlined at the start. The thing is, you've got to tell people, give them a hook to get, to latch onto, so that you can then build the argument around that. Whereas at no point has he said either what white fragility means to him or why he thinks it's a real thing.
Correct.
So there's nothing. He's talked about going to the cinema and slavery. No, that's fine. But is the topic about either of those things? I don't think so. Okay, I mean,
nope, it's not. You're right. I had the same. You're channeling my reaction at the time, so I can't fault any of your reasoning. Okay.
Well, we are the number 1 and 2 worst people in the world. So terrible minds think alike.
Yes, apparently. Okay, hitting play. I think I already went back a little bit just so we don't miss anything.
To these conditions by virtue of your participation in the economic system.
Sorry, I'm going to go back.
Factors beyond their control, and not in any reasonable sense due to the lack of virtue in their own decisions. You have, in no uncertain terms, played a part in helping to contribute to these conditions by virtue of your participation in the economic system that benefits from them. And after that, we inevitably have a few questions. Is modern slavery your fault? And does this make you a bad person? There are a few schools of thought to help us answer this, and what better place to start than the guiding principles of the country we live in? The greatest goddamn country on earth.
Make a fucking point, for God's sake. Like, I was expecting the end of that thing for him to say, no, it's not your fault, but blah-de-blah, this is white fragility or something. But he's just going, now there are schools of thought about stuff. Oh, just make a fucking point, please. Get to some sort of end. But it's like one big long sentence that never fucking finishes. He almost had a point earlier about the Conservatives having a meltdown about the book, which could have been a good hook for saying white conservative America has shown that it is a bit fragile, because even a book called White Fragility, which I don't like, but because it's called White Fragility, has exposed their fragility by them reacting in a fragile way to it.
See, you're making a better argument so far.
Yeah, but he didn't even finish that point off.
Nope.
He hasn't said anything. It's fucking infuriating. He's been speaking for 5 bastard minutes now, and he hasn't said anything. It's infuriating, because I'm sure Milo, being a twat, he'll say something horrible, I'm sure, but would probably, actually make some sort of point or something. It might not be truthful in any respect, but
we can watch the Milo bit a little bit afterwards if you want, just to see how Milo reacts. I'm fine with that, depending on how much time you have.
I don't really give a fuck. Yeah, I kind of want to see if he actually does he make a point at any point, or I might actually tear my fucking hair out.
I'm not gonna. I had to sit through this and let it unfold, and you have to sit through it and let it unfold and just see where it goes.
Okay.
Yes. So again, I'll just go back 5 seconds, 10 seconds, I guess. Okay.
There are a few schools of thought to help us answer this, and what better place to start than the guiding principles of the country you likely live in? The greatest goddamn country on earth, the United States of America. Freedom and meritocracy. In America, you decide your own fate and succeed or fail on your own merits, with the assurance that no matter where you end up, you got there by clawing by your own 2 hands. Which would mean, yeah, it is your fault. You chose to buy the coffee and sugar and shirt that some kid halfway across the world was forced into making. If you didn't know about it, that's also your fault. Nothing was stopping you from doing the tiny amount of research it would have taken for you to find out. And ask yourself, does a good person buy things made with the blood of slave labor? The answer to that is no. So yeah, it is your fault. And yeah, you are a bad person. Unless. Well, before we get into that, let's talk about how this is analogous to systemic racism in America.
Fucking hell. Oh, just again, he built up. Like, he's edging me so badly here. Like, he gets me to the point where I'm about to explode, and then he goes, well, or we'll talk about that in a bit. Now I'm just going to make another fucking preambly piece of nonsense waffle, and then get to no conclusion again for the fucking 12th time. Seriously, I'm going to fucking bust a nut here. This is ridiculous.
Okay. Going back.
Or a bad person. Unless. Well, before we get into that, let's talk about how this is analogous to systemic racism in America. Mainly about how systemic racism in America absolutely exists.
After
and to
fucking
disagree
6
with that
minutes.
is to be incorrect.
Yeah.
Systemic racism is not the result of some shadowy cabal of evil white people conspiring in a boardroom somewhere, no matter how many tiny idiots try to frame it that way. Rather, it's a reflection of linear time, actions in the past having consequences in the present. To paraphrase a segment from the excellent Cody Johnston, the institution of slavery led to an enormous racial discrepancy in wealth even after it was abolished due to black people being denied inheritance from their parents, which, didn't have anything because slaves, which led to worse social conditions for black people in the U.S. for generations afterward, which led to the justification of federally sanctioned housing policies, including loans being intentionally denied to individuals redlined in black neighborhoods, which led to black people living in areas of concentrated poverty, which led to less access to upward mobility, which led to an increased motivation towards crime, which led to over-policing, which led to mass incarceration, which led to the loss of political power, which led to an inability to halt further losses of property values, which led to...
Yeah, he's been speaking for 6-7 minutes, and he has said nothing. Look, it's true, and it's a good point in general, explaining why systemic racism is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stop saying systematic. That's so annoying. Anyway, systemic racism is a thing, but again, that's not the topic.
Mm-hmm.
It's called "Does White Fragility" or "Is White Fragility Real" or whatever. Yep. And has he mentioned white fragility other than the book?
Nope.
At all?
Nope. No.
So the only time he's mentioned the topic was to say, "I think this book is a pile of shit."
Yes.
Brilliant. I mean, you've laid out your case so well. Genuinely, this is infuriating because Milo's an experienced waffler.
Yes.
He's finely honed waffle technique.
Yes.
And we'll be able to, with pure rhetoric, no facts, no reason, no logic, just with rhetoric, be able to annihilate this. I mean, like I say, accurate, worthy stuff that's got nothing to do with the topic.
Yep. Yes. That's my perspective on it. All right. Hitting play.
Increased motivation towards crime, which led to over-policing, which led to mass incarceration, which led to the loss of political power, which led to an inability to halt further losses of property values, which led to a decrease in the property taxes that inexplicably fund local school systems, which led to less funding for education in black districts, which led to fewer opportunities to achieve better careers, which led to, even if there was zero modern racial bias against people of color in education, which there is, or the job market, which there is, or the medical system, which there is, or home ownership, which there is, or the criminal justice system, which there is at all levels. And even if we weren't under the current leadership of a president who exploited white fears about losing their status atop the racial hierarchy to gain political power, which we are, systemic racism would still be explanatory for the racial gap in wealth and status in this country. Systemic racism doesn't need an overseer with a pointy white hat, a pointy white hood to pull the strings. It just needs people to not think too much about their morning cup of coffee. Research has shown that there are two primary factors contributing to the denial of systemic racism.
There's
the first
nothing.
is simple ignorance of his...
He's not even using the phrase white.
He's the biggest cock tease in the world. It takes you to the point where you think he's going to say, and therefore, blah-de-blah, white fragility is real, or something. And it's nothing. He said nothing.
I can't disagree. I can't disagree with that assessment. We still have a couple minutes left, so I'll let it unfold.
Think too much about their morning cup of coffee. Research has shown that there are two primary factors contributing to the denial of systemic racism. The first is simple ignorance of historical reality. If you are unaware of the vast but straightforward through line of slavery then to racial gaps now, you're likely to use the default cultural norms of meritocracy we have in the United States to generate a post hoc rationalization for racial disparities. We're a just society. People are in control of their own lives, and so people deserve what they have. It only takes a pittance of information to alleviate this problem in the studies that I've read. The second factor is the harder one. Positive white racial identity, the extent to which you like being white. People who are proud of being white are way more likely to reject historical and empirical truths, proving systemic racism, not because of any rational objections, but because admitting that a group they identify with has done something morally wrong would be a threat to their positive group identity. And when combined with the American belief in meritocracy, that people get what they deserve, it's easy to fall into the belief that white people have simply earned their rightful place and that non-white people should stay in theirs. For more information, direct your Super Chat questions to Milo and his old friends at Breitbart. This stuff is bog standard psychology, not even remotely controversial in the field.
Oh.
People tend to justify power structures they find themselves in, and they tend to reject information that threatens a positive self-image. More so, negative traits tend to be morally diagnostic, more so than positive traits, which is to say that people will judge you more based on the bad stuff you do more than the good stuff you do. Yeah, cancel culture is real, and it wasn't invented by 19-year-old leftists on Twitter. People all across the political spectrum see accusations of racism as an attack on their moral character rather than a criticism of their actions. Because people all across the political spectrum use accusations of racism to attack moral character.
Again.
He's not saying the word white fragility.
At all. Yeah.
At all.
And not just that, but again, he almost had a point there.
Yeah.
He was going on about positive white identity and wanting to reject certain blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could actually fashion that into, and I was literally about to interrupt at one point and say, why didn't he lead off with that? But then he didn't even finish the point,
No.
so it would have made no difference.
He doesn't explain
This is annoying.
how these things
Yeah.
connect to white fragility. And if you don't
Yeah.
have an understanding of what fragility is, or you have a right-wing understanding, you're not going to make the connections that he thinks are obvious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's assuming a lot of inside knowledge or a lot of, like you say, you've got to have a target audience and understand precisely what you need to say in order for them to get the fucking point. And he's taking you to the point where he should then explain.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, it was a good opening to a point that he didn't make, in essence, by saying
Yes.
that positive white identity correlates with wanting to deny those facts about systemic racism in history, and people being challenged about that by the modern day Black Lives Matter movement or the Colin Kaepernick thing or whatever has exposed the fragility inherent in a large part of white society that feels that way, or the fact that you're more inclined toward that means you're more inclined to be fragile against accusations of racism or systemic bigotry or whatever. But he didn't make the point.
Nope.
And this is, I mean, he's been talking for nearly 10 minutes.
Yep.
I feel so frustrated by it because you think a few times he's taking you to the point of actually getting somewhere and then completely switched gears into like a different topic without ever taking you to it's motherfucker's blue ball in my.
But the thing is, you have to be in the left-wing circle or be aware of these arguments and these definitions and these studies in order to understand what he's not saying explicitly. Anyone who is just coming to this for the first time would just not know where to put that information. So
yeah, Haruka in the chat makes a very good. You could surmise a perfectly reasonable argument around why Americans confuse doing something racist with being irredeemably racist. Yeah,
he spent more time.
Or by,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just going to say, or by saying there are elements of America's past, which is incredibly racist, and elements of the current American systems that are incredibly racist, with saying America is absolutely irredeemable piece of shit and needs to be swept away and fuck America. People aren't saying that. No, there are some people saying that, but the vast majority of people out in the streets just want like the police to stop fucking shooting them and stuff, like, you know. And that the fact that people overreact and say like, "Oh, they're attacking America," means that they intrinsically mean white supremacy, not like America as in the concept or whatever.
Yeah, he spent more time talking about systemic racism than white people's reaction to being confronted about the existence of racism at this point.
Yeah.
You know, just saying that.
Yeah, I mean, outside of saying the book is a pile of shit, has he mentioned the phrase white fragility at all?
No. I've been waiting. I've been watching this time.
The only time he's mentioned the fucking title is to say, I disagree with it.
Yeah.
I mean, brilliant. Yeah, I mean, this is embarrassing, frankly. Look, and the thing is, I've and followed Jangles stuff in the past, and they seem like a good person and an intelligent motherfucker.
I was rooting for
So I don't know what
Jangles.
the hell's gone on here. Yeah.
I wanted
Well, frankly,
to see Milo
I'd root for
crush.
fucking Beelzebub over Milo. But
Yeah, true.
Jangles seems like a good dude, and yeah, he's fucking this up.
Mm-hmm.
And not in like the cool kind of urban black sense of fuck it up. Like, I mean, he's literally making a mess of this.
Mm-hmm. Okay, hitting play.
As an attack on their moral character rather than a criticism of their actions. Because people all across the political spectrum use accusations of racism to attack moral character rather than actions. We want to believe that we have a fair chance. We want to feel good about ourselves, and we don't want other people to think bad about us. All of this explains, to reluctantly borrow a subtitle from a certain terrible book, why it's so hard for white people to talk about racism. But there is another way. Instead of pretending that none of us are products of our environment, that black families probably deserve to have only 10%.
Edged again? Edged again?
Yeah, edged again. Like, literally, he mentions the subtitle of the book. So why is it difficult for white people to talk about racism? Because of white fragility and blah, blah, blah. And again, but it takes you to the edge. It takes you to the precipice and then puts fucking ice cubes on your bell ends. Like, what are you doing?
All right. Okay. Hitting play.
For white people to talk about racism. But there is another way. Instead of pretending that none of us are products of our environment, that black families probably deserve to have only 10% of the wealth that white families have, that you chose to support slavery with your cup of coffee, we could put our individual actions in the proper perspective. We all make choices, but our choices are heavily influenced and limited by the system presenting them to us. When you adopt this position, you find that you don't have to ignore the historical reality of systemic racism. You don't have to ignore the mountains of empirical data showing racial disparities in nearly all aspects of modern life, and you don't have to believe in scientifically false genetic differences between socially constructed racial categories. You get to realize that the same theory that rejects a
Interesting that
genetic
Milo
explanation for black
smiled at that
poverty
concept.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does Milo think his husband's racially inferior?
Well, I don't want to preview some of Milo's future comments because I want to stay focused, but okay. All right. Doo-doo.
Have to believe in scientifically false genetic differences between socially constructed racial categories. You get to realize that the same theory that rejects a genetic explanation for black poverty and crime in favor of an environmental one also rejects a genetic explanation for white propagation of racist systems in favor of an environmental one. You get to realize that racism, or any other prejudice, systemic or otherwise, isn't a binary on or off switch that automatically pegs you as a good or bad person. You get to realize that it's just cultural inertia that keeps system of inequality going rather than evil racist conservatives or incompetent detached liberals. And you get to realize that while you aren't personally responsible for building this unjust system, you can be a voice in the collective push to change it.
He's done.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Again, he almost had a point there.
Yeah.
He almost had a point about it's not irredeemable, fucking hideous racist from all parts of it. It's the fact that people kind of, I don't know, complacently go along with it or whatever. Like, there's almost a point again, but that's nothing. He talked for 10 fucking minutes and said nothing.
Not to the...
About the top.
Yeah,
well, no,
he said a lot.
just to the he said nothing about the actual topic of the thing. He said some really interesting, important stuff about systemic racism. Cool, but that's not the topic that's being discussed. Theory, that's not what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I see. And yet Jangles insists that I'm wrong.
Yes, so you had some beef with Jangles about this.
Yeah, so I basically said he whiffed this debate.
Okay.
He said people don't have that impression. I'm like, yeah, but that's the people who already agree with you. You know, you never defined white fragility. And he insists that when he talked about the psychological factors of in-group bias and attributing individual failings to personal flaws, that he did.
Well, no, he didn't. Again, he took us to the edge of beginning to explain it and then moved on to something else entirely.
Yep.
Assuming that you would make that connection, which, look, I already know the basic argument he wants to make, and I'm almost certain I'll know what Milo will say in response. But you have to explain it to most people because they're not fucking geeks on the internet.
Yep.
Like, you didn't make any points there.
Nope.
Again, and I don't want anyone to take away from that I think that the stuff he was talking about essentially a slam dunk argument about systemic racism existing, that's perfectly well and good, but that's not what the debate's called.
Yeah. And I see Madeline in the chat is saying, I didn't think the end was too bad. Honestly, when I got to the 50-minute mark watching Milo just smack him around, I had to tap out. Like, people kept talking about something that happened at like 1 hour and 7 minutes into this, and it was Milo's emotional reaction. I'm like, but that doesn't mean you won the debate.
Should we just skip to that bit?
Well, do you want to hear how Milo counters this? Because I found...
Not really.
Okay. I don't know where it is. I guess 107. I mean, people in the chat, I mean, there was a whole bunch of like... They were complaining that he put on his glasses and took them off a lot. I don't know where's the how do I get the chat replay off? Just turn that. No.
Go on. No, you go to scroll down. You can hide chat. Hang on.
Oh, hide chat replay. There we go. All right.
Yeah.
Now I can kind of see things a bit better. All right. Up next. Show more. Where are the comments? Let's see.
Yeah, Milo's shirt is literally, I can't be racist, I have a black husband.
Yeah, whereas I did
some of the best dicks I've sucked have been black, you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for, oh, there we go. Oh, apparently Carolyn Borsenkio showed up in the chat at some point.
Oh, okay.
Where is the thing where it says Milo's blah, blah, blah. By the way, Milo just smacks the shit out of him. Milo gives the first clear definition of white fragility, and then he calls it white-on-white crime. Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, fuck it. Should we just... I'm done with this.
All right.
I don't care.
So anyway, that's why I was criticizing Jangles and saying he didn't do well in the debate.
No,
I don't think Milo having an emotional meltdown, if that's what happens, is him making a good argument.
Yeah.
It's just not. So, let's see. Let's just go over to minute 6 and see if it was like 107 or something.
As an actual psychologist, I just want to point out that there are no sources in white fragility to back up the main premise of the book. Look at the references in the back. There are hardly any.
I know. I seriously read this entire book. I hated every second of reading this book because I had to do so much research outside of it. I had to
I don't know where it is. I didn't make it that far. I told you I got about 49 minutes into it and I just had to quit. So, yeah. If people want to know why I don't think Jangles did well, now you do. That was it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, are we ready to switch it up to some Ben Shapiro? Ben
Shapoingo, yes.
Right.
Let's do that.
So I'll stop sharing. Oh, you know what? I haven't given you permission to share yet, so let me go ahead and do that. Cool. And
maybe I don't want permission to share.
I have to drag your window over in order for it. Yeah, it was really frustrating because Milo basically said I came prepared to talk about the topic and you didn't. There was a lot of openings that Jangles gave Milo simply by not doing what I think you should do with an opening of debate. So
yeah, I'll get to the Ben Shapiro stuff and then I'll go through my the other things because there's some interesting funny bits. Here we go. Right, this is the main bit of the Ben Shapiro thing. Now, are we aware of WAP?
Oh well, I thought it used to be wireless access protocols or something, but it's now been has another.
Yes, it means wet ass pussy.
Yeah. Although if you watch the video, it's wet and gushy, which I was like, okay.
Well, don't you're jumping ahead.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yes. So that's a new phrase to me. I'd never heard of the phrase wet ass pussy before. But just to make it clear, unlike Ben, I was aware that cis women's vaginas are self-lubricating. That's perfectly healthy part of anatomy in humans. But anyway, so WAP, wet ass pussy, that's what it stands for. Cardi B, who's a popular music artist, and some other person, I don't know who they are, made a new song called WAP, and that's what it stands for. It has a pretty robust visual style to the video. We'll get into it. And the lyrics are on the crude side, but funny and interesting and all the rest of it. Ben Shapiro decided that at a time when you have COVID going fucking mental and federal troops blackbagging people in America and a presidential election season on the very near horizon and all of that, he thought it would be best to pull a Stefan Molyneux and read some rap lyrics in a very, very white way. Oh,
don't forget Bill O'Reilly, who also used to do that. Put up a picture of Beyonce being very, Beyonce and hot and queen-like, and then say how terrible it was while actually leveraging her sexuality for his ratings. It's there was a comment I heard about the difference between Democrats and Republicans. Like, Democrats don't close their shades when they should, and Republicans close their shades when they don't need to. Another one was Republican boys marry Republican girls or women, but they date Democratic girls or women first because they want to have fun. And the last one that's relevant is Democrats read banned books and Republicans read banned books in groups. Yeah, that's kind of what this is.
I mean, to continue with the crudeness, I like Sarah Silverman's line about this. She said, the difference between, was it Republican senators and Democratic senators, is that, and the reason I'll support the Democratic Party over all this is that they'll both come in a hooker's ass, but at least the hooker can get healthcare under a Democrat.
Okay, that's straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I'm pitching it at the level that you need to be at in order for this to be a thing. Anyway, so Ben reads out the lyrics to a song, because that's an important thing that needs to happen right now. Yeah. So, should we listen?
Please.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen this clip, this is possibly the most amazing thing you will ever hear and see in your life.
Here are some of the lyrics. You ready? Whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house.
Also, his yarmulke is getting bigger. Somehow his yarmulke is still getting bigger. It's amazing, anyway.
It's growing.
Up. I said certified freak 7 days a week. Wet ass P word. Make that pull-out game weak. Yeah, you effing with some wet ass P word. P word is female genitalia.
What a nerd.
Jesus. He won't even say the word pussy.
Nope. No. And they blur out nipple rings or nipple shields. Yeah. Like, I don't understand that either. Yeah, pasties.
That's a new phrase I learned. I didn't know that phrase.
Oh, I knew about pasties.
They're called pasties, yeah. Yeah. And yeah, exactly. So it makes it look like she's just got her tits out.
Yep.
Like it's softcore pornography.
It's actually worse blurring it than just letting her show what she's wearing.
I'm thinking, now I'm imagining Cardi B's naked breasts. Where if you just show me the thing, it's pasties. Okay. Anyway, so wet ass P word, this is amazing. Because the thing is, this is embarrassing enough in of itself. It gets even better later because Ben is nothing if not an idiot.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass P word.
Can you turn it down a little bit?
Everything you got for this wet ass.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Beat it up, N-word. Catch a charge.
Yeah, to there.
Extra large and extra hard. Put this P word right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. Up the top, I want to ride. I do a inside. Spit in my mouth. Look in my eyes. This P word is wet. Come take a dive.
No, I'm surprised when she says spit in my mouth. He's not like, well, because of the COVID, that's it's a responsible thing for her to say.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It continued along these lines.
The blurring.
Yeah.
And it gets significantly more vulgar. Like, a lot more vulgar.
Let me read it out.
Fuck your S word, bite your lip.
Yeah, exactly.
While you ride that D word. You really
D word.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ride that D word. You fucking twat. Like, this motherfucker will defend like genocide and shit, but yeah, they're saying the word pussy's too much.
Mm-hmm.
And as Sophane points out, conservatism is the new punk rock.
Yeah, yeah. Ask Paul Joseph Watson.
Never gonna F him for a thing. He already made his mind up before he came. Now get your boots and your coat for this wet ass P word. Pay my tuition just to kiss me on this wet ass P. Right. So this is deep, guys.
This is deep.
This is what feminists fought for. This is what the feminist movement was all.
I mean, he's not incorrect in one respect.
Yeah.
Feminists do want women to have like fulfilling sexual experiences. That is true. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's, which is why in a second you'll feel very sorry for Ben Shapiro's wife.
Oh, about. It's not it's not really about, you know, women being treated as independent, full, rounded human beings. It's about wet ass P word. And if you say anything differently, it's because you're a misogynist, you see. It gets really vulgar.
I love the fact that he thinks that women being sexual is not part of them being a fully rounded person.
Yep, I know.
Because, Ben, for normal people, and I know you're not a normal person, but for normal people, their sexual lives are like a part of who they are. Mm-hmm. It's part of the human experience in many respects. But you could almost say it's an entirely natural thing that people can enjoy.
Yep. Also, this is entertainment. It's just one song. Like, who cares? Yeah,
exactly. And not just that, but the men have been singing equally vulgar things forever.
Yep, back that ass
Ben
up.
is one of these. But Ben is one of these people who'd have been like, that Elvis Presley shaking his hips on the television machine will ruin American youth.
Probably. Like, I'm sure he would have.
Just what a fucking twat. Mm-hmm. Imagine that. What a dickhead. And it's all about this again. This is why feminism is still absolutely necessary.
Yeah, because
even though women have the right to make a song like this, and that absolutely should be the case, Ben wants to still have that paternalistic control over women, especially about their sexuality. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And not just that, but the fact that it's black women as well.
Yes, very much.
Because Ben does
so.
a thing which it's an idea that's crystallized in my mind of essentially kind of shadow intersectionalism, where instead of having like intersecting vectors of oppression, Ben sees it as intersecting vectors of innate degeneracy.
Yeah.
So you could be black and gay, and he will attack you for that intersection because you're black and you're gay. So that's two lots of big of degeneracy that you were born with that Ben will attack you for.
Yeah, just like
and
Bill
a lot
O'Reilly.
of conservatives do this. Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Anyway, just some solid burns. The memes were amazing on this. Ben Shapiro just single-handedly dried up every P word in America. Very alpha. It's true. Hang on, before we can get to that, it doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. He continues on the podcast.
Okay.
We ready for this?
Yep. Go ahead.
By the way, the song is so unsexy that it frankly sounds like somebody describing what amounts to a serious condition that requires the care of a doctor.
Yeah, apparently, cis women's vaginas becoming wet upon sexual arousal is a medical problem for Ben.
He thinks it's very unusual.
Now, do you know what his wife does for a living by any chance?
I know she's a doctor because he keeps mentioning it every time he mentions her.
Is she a doctor?
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's ever mentioned that, Kristi. I think this is the first. He's about to mention this for the first time ever, honest. It's not like he mentions it every 5 seconds. And bless his wife. His wife tried to make him feel so much better about the fact that she is dry as a bone when Ben is around, you know.
So, fortunately, I know a doctor who's my wife. And so I asked her for her medical diagnosis. And she looked at the lyrics herself. And after being
a doctor, who was his wife? His wife's a doctor, unless you mentioned that. To look at the lyrics of a song and come up with a medical diagnosis. Yeah, that's solid medical practice there, doctor. Usually you have to like actually meet with a patient and overgo like medical assessments and stuff. No, just an obviously over the top description of sexual intercourse for artistic effect. That's what I'm going to use to diagnose.
That's credible.
Kind of appalled by them. Yeah. Obviously, she had a few sort of indicators here on how she could diagnose the vaginal condition that apparently these women are suffering. So there are a few sort of giveaways. Here. So
whoa! What did I do there? Yeah, a woman becoming sexually aroused is a medical condition. It's a vaginal medical condition, Krista.
Yep. Can you take it down to about 75%? Thank you. I'm peeking over here whenever Ben is online.
Apologies.
That's okay.
Well, well.
Few sort of giveaways. There are a few sort of giveaways here. So first of all, a bucket and a mop for this wet ass P word. So first of all, she had to clarify whether wet ass P word was a description of the P word or whether one of the clinical symptoms here was also diarrhea. But bring a bucket and a mop. This suggests that there's an awful lot of, not to be too graphic, but some sort of medical discharge that's happening here.
I fucking lost it. When I saw this clip last night, I was crying with laughter. Some sort of medical discharge. Hearing Ben Shapiro say the phrase medical discharge.
Yeah. Worth the price of admission.
My brain imploded. I am now at one with the universe. I now understand all things that have ever happened. He has warped me. I'm damaged to a point where I don't think I can recover from him saying medical discharge. It gets even better because he mentions another medical thing, which is, well, we'll see. Have you seen this clip before?
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah, this was a slightly different one. Yeah.
Like a lot too much. Right, a lot too much, because that's a symptom of something that is not going great. Apparently, there are signs of prolapse.
What? What? Fucking what? What is that?
Fucking prolapse.
What are they talking about? What does that even have? Oh, God.
Why is his wife a doctor?
Yeah, that's a good question. I question her medical license at this point.
Prolapse. Oh, Jesus Christ. There are so many he's David Brent.
Yes, yeah.
He genuinely is like a mixture of David Brent and Alan Partridge. He's just which are two British comedic references that people may or may not get. This is amazing. Fucking prolapse. There are so many words here. Discharge, prolapse.
And I say that because hop on top, I want to ride, I do a Kegel while it's inside. So there's some signs of some actual clinical prolapse, which is a problem.
No, they're just muscles. It's just a muscle exercise. Women do that after they give birth.
Yeah. And not just that, but that's one of the things. It's well, apparently I learned because I looked it up. It's obviously to improve sexual intercourse because of grippage. Yep. Frankly. But also it can help treat certain incontinence issues as well by strengthening the muscles. But that's it, Ben. Yep. There's no signs of prolapse at all.
None.
Also, there's some talk about where this person is putting their nose, and there's some talk about smelling. Right? There's a line here about gagging and choking, which suggests that perhaps there's an odor issue here.
No, it's how deep his tongue is.
Oh god. It reminds me of that guy going on about a woman being pungent in a good way.
Oh god, yeah.
But no, Ben, I looked at the lyrics because again, I wanted to, see what was going on. No, swipe your nose like a credit card, which is a thing that you can do. But I know you probably don't go down on your wife very often, but you can use your nose as like a kind of to stimulate the clitoris. It's basically the point. Swipe your nose like a credit card. That's a technique, right? And the choking and gagging, she's then referring to her giving oral sex to a man.
Right.
So it's like it's basic description of oral sex. Yeah. But Ben's like choking and gagging. What do you think in her song she's saying her pussy smells so bad that it made a dude retch? I mean, I don't know what you think this song is about, Ben, but it's not her saying, actually, my pussy smells really bad.
No, it's not.
Sorry, P word. Sorry, Ben. Wouldn't want to offend you there, you absolute dick. Sorry, D word.
Also, at some point in here, there's a reference to diabetes about a person who engages in particular activity and ends up diabetic, which is just a serious PhD.
It's a joke. She's saying her pussy's so sweet and he ate so much of it, he ended up diabetic. It's a joke. That's the point of that lyric. She's not saying that literally either of the participants is actually not producing insulin, or the insulin is inactive on the body, depending on type 1 or type 2 diabetes. Yeah, this is so madness. Why is he saying these things? I don't know where to begin. Yeah, he does. He genuinely is like, I'm absolutely poning these bitches. So, B words.
Imbalance. So I asked my wife for a differential diagnosis for the sake of these ladies in case they need to go to the doctor. I mean, like this is a problem. I mean, like if this is like there's water pouring out the front doors of this place, and that ain't water, guys. I mean, that's what I'm being told. That ain't water. So medical here was her differential. The differential diagnosis, and what the doctor was either these women are suffering from bacterial vaginosis or a yeast infection, or my wife suggested most probably they are suffering from trichomonas.
Vaginal.
He's no idea how to make a woman wet, does he?
Ben. I'm fucking dying. Oh, vaginal endromosis, Ben. I thank you. Genuinely, I haven't laughed as hard at you in the last couple of days, or the last day. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Anyway, so where was the thing? Right. He responded to that. He was getting fucking dragged, as you expect. Yeah. I mean, he was getting ripped the piss out. He then writes it. Do you want to read Ben Shapiro's wife's amazing word here?
Sure. Oh, he kind of does again. Also, as I also discussed on the show, my only real concern is that the women involved, who apparently require a bucket and a mop, get the medical care they require. My doctor wife's differential diagnosis, and then he goes through the stupid list again.
Ben, the bucket and mop, again, it's artistic license.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they're saying they're literally, if a woman comes and it's onto a floor, perhaps, you might need to mop that up. But generally speaking, it's the bucket and mop reference is saying, oh, my pussy's so wet, it's, exactly. You need a bucket and a mop. Again, it's like the diabetes thing from before. It's not literally saying you need a mop and bucket
it's
because I'm pissing everywhere or something. Yeah. And his wife has played along with this because his wife has to explain why she's like a fucking desert, basically, like the Sahara going on downstairs with Ben. So she's saying, the fact that these cis women are becoming lubricated at sexual arousal is weird and clearly a medical problem. Obviously. God, he's amazing. Anyway, there's more. Hang on, where are we? I tweeted that bit out with, I laughed so hard that my vagina prolapsed. There's some more here. Ben Shapiro sharing with the world that his wife, a doctor, told him that wet pussy is a symptom of gynecological problems, is the greatest cell phone in the history of cell phones. It will never be surpassed.
No.
Other people can stop owning themselves because there's really no point. It's very true. This one as well reminds me of this absolute classic as well.
Yeah.
Which, if you remember this one, where the idea of the woman frames sex as something that hetero women are subjected to rather than enthusiastic participants. And this Brad guy, I get the point you're trying to make, but I've yet to meet a hetero woman who enthusiastically participates in sex.
Yeah,
okay,
Brad, that's a you
Bradley.
problem. That's not a women problem.
Indeed. Well, on a sort of related note, the Eat Out to Help Out scheme has been used 10 million times in his scheme's first week. And I just thought, who would have thought eating out was such a popular thing?
And then they have women on the picture as well.
Yeah, of course they do. Who are eating out. That's the point, isn't it? Yeah. In theory, someone has had sexual relations with Ben Shapiro. In theory. I wrote, I suggest we rename Ben Shapiro to Ben Shapiro. Just remove the last letter because with Ben, there definitely isn't an O.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
I like that one.
Turning Point Glasgow, which is a joke thing.
Yeah, I got
point of view. You are inside Ben Shapiro's wife. Yep.
I mean, he opened the door to this. He opened the door to this.
Yeah.
There's a little
This is an interesting little one. Related.
Ben. There's a little something that your doctor wife forgot to mention to you, and it's called squirting.
That made me laugh. So yeah, the memes were very good.
Yes. Oh, the internet had fun with him. So much fun.
Yeah. Are we basically done with Shapiro?
No, actually,
I've
got if we want to stay on this theme, I actually have a couple things to share myself.
Okay.
If you want to stop sharing.
Okay, well, I'll stop sharing then.
All right. So then I have to reshare with you and open up my Googles. 80. Is that the one I want? No, that's not the one I want. Come on, Chrome, help me out here. Why aren't you helping me out? Chrome, you suck. Oh, that's the one. Okay. All right, let me go to my bookmarks. I also had the one from, I didn't know it was from Glasgow, but there were...
You need to share it with me.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. So much to remember. Okay, screen sharing.
A whisper they can't hear.
Yes. Why doesn't it just save your... Like, if I put screen 2, why don't they just save that setting? I don't understand. All right, so you already got this one. Oh, let me move the chat over a bit more. Okay, there we go. Because some people put it in a mix. They added him to the song. I don't know if you saw this. Oh, there's a Cardi B thing that is actually pretty funny we can get back to. Come on, where'd it go? I mean, there's been a lot going on. And also, I have a lot of fluff in my...
Yeah, various pussy videos I saw there.
Yes.
That's not related, though.
So,
oh, God.
I saw another one, but actually I prefer this one. So this is the one I want to showcase. It's the Fresh Prince of Wet-Ass Puss P-Word. Here we go.
Here are some of the lyrics. You ready? In this house, there's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. Hold up. I said certified freak 7 days a week. Wet ass P-word. Make that pull-out game weak. Yeah, you effin' with some wet ass P-word.
This fucking slaps.
You know what I'm gonna tell you. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass P-word. Give me everything you got for this wet ass P-word. Beat it up N-word. Catch a charge. Extra large and extra hard. Put this P-word right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. Hop on top, I want to ride. I do a kegel while it's inside. Spit in my mouth, look in my eyes. This P-word is wet, come take a dive. It continues along these lines. And it gets significantly more vulgar. Like, a lot more vulgar. Talk your S-word, bite your lip, ask for a call while you ride that D-word. You really ain't never gonna F him for a thing. He already made his mind up before he came. Now get your boots and your coat for this wet-ass P-word. Pay my tuition just to kiss me on this wet-ass P... Right, so this is... guys, this is what feminists fought for. This is what the feminist movement on this... Beat it up N-word.
Shoot. I tried to not... Okay, sorry, going back.
Yeah.
You know, women being treated as independent,
oh my God.
full-rounded human beings. It's about wet-ass P-word. And if you say anything differently, it's because you're a misogynist, you see. It gets really vulgar.
Oh, I can hear the dogs.
Oh, there. Not my dogs, but the dogs a couple of doors down.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, but that was a banger. Absolutely. Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, on that point though as well. Ben, why are you being so politically correct, mate? Just say pussy.
Yeah. There was another one that someone tagged me into. I'll see if I can find it. But, you know, I get a lot of stuff in my feed. So, notifications. Where they put it with the Cardi B song, but I don't know if I can find it.
Yeah, it actually flows quite well, yeah.
But I personally preferred that one a little bit better. I'm not finding it. So, let's see. Let's do Ben Shapiro P-word. I'm sure that'll bring up if I can do a hash on my German keyboard. Where is it? Oh, there it is. No, that's not it. I'll just put P-word. That should be close enough. And we'll go to videos. Oh, maybe it's in the top. No, that's not it. If I can't find it in the next 3 seconds, we're just gonna skip it. Anyway, so there's also where they do it over the beat, but I actually think the timing of the other one is better. Let's see.
Kristi, there's a YouTube link in the chat.
Ah, okay. Thank you. Opening a new tab. Something went wrong. Try it again. All right, let me see if this is it. Let's see.
P word is female gender.
No. Try it again. Let's see. I'm not sure what problem there was with the link. I'll do it one more time. But yes, okay. So do you want to go back to your oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if we do find it in my time, I'll do it when I'm doing some. I have a lot of fluff. So, all right. Stopped sharing. Control.
You good?
Yep, should be. Yep, I can see it.
Okay. Cute cat looks annoyed.
Oh, that is adorable.
Good place to start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. The distraction from the US media, the British media, I should say, about the immigrants. Oh, the immigrants are coming over in boats and stuff. When we've got actually serious things to talk about, and they're only about these poor fuckers trying to get it anyway. So the British media are scum.
Mm-hmm.
A cat licking a dog.
Oh, cute. That's sweet.
It's fine. Caleb Moppin, who I don't think I've talked about on this show before, but he's like a Marxist-Leninist guy who got embarrassed because he responded to Thoughts Lime with Burger King. It became a meme anyway, and he claims to be a communist. This lad claims to be like this left-wing guy. Should we ever sit here and being a bit homophobic?
Oh, great.
Stuff. And part of the reason there was a tolerance for them was because prior to the modern gay rights movement, a lot of gay men's first sexual experience was with a pedophile. And so there were a lot of gay men who felt like, oh, wow,
what?
I was the only gay person.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
fucking homophobe.
He's a very, very bigoted individual.
Ugh.
He defends China and Stalin and all sorts. He's a very unpleasant chap.
But then luckily my coach molested me, and so and there were a lot of gay men that had some very strange feelings about pedophiles, even if they weren't pedophiles themselves, because of that reality. And that's deeply sad and tragic.
Shut your mouth.
Tragic. You sound very sincere there.
Oh,
you
God.
hateful little twat.
Uh-huh.
But thankfully, the left have been absolutely dragging him because
Good.
He's like a lot of tankies.
Yeah.
Trash.
Yeah.
So that's good. Anyway, Michael Tracy. I don't know if you
Again,
saw this.
sock person?
With the
sock fetish guy?
Sock guy.
Well, he's sneaking into other people's houses. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sneaks into other people's houses, take pictures of their socks because that's normal. Anyway, yeah, he's awful. He debated Vogue. I listened to that, and he's a snake. He's an absolute fucking snake. He won't. When he's in like a leftist space, he pretends like, "Oh, Black Lives Matter isn't that bad. I'm really concerned about the spread of coronavirus, though. You know, fuck off."
What?
Twat. Anyway, the right have one joke, which is attack helicopter, right?
Yeah.
And he's basically repurposed it because it was his birthday the other day, right? So he says, while today is technically my birthday, I now self-identify with a different birthday. There's a spectrum of birthdays, and I won't be held down by my birthday binary. Thank you.
What a prick.
He's doing that.
Yep.
But then Little Miss Present, Tulsi Gabbard, steps in and says, hope your non-birthday was great. So Tulsi Gabbard's an even bigger piece of shit than we thought before.
Yep.
Good progressive there, Tulsi.
She's not running again, from what I understand. So.
No, thankfully not. No. Indeed. Yeah, this is right. So, Mark Byron is just a British chap. I must get called a Tory, which is conservative. at least 20 times a week on here. Not once have I ever said I would vote Tory in my life. It seems that it's just an insult that gets thrown around by people who move to London. I'm a proud Scouser with strong Liverpool morals.
Uh-huh.
And then someone responds, how do you explain this? Which is a tweet when he says, I will vote for him to be PM if I get the chance. He's done an excellent job for the country. Better than Corbyn, misspelled, ever could. So he's basically saying, I'll vote for Boris Johnson.
Yeah.
He says,
Receipts.
That's taken out of context.
Okay.
Someone rightly points out, what's the context then? And Mark says, I don't wish to explain that.
I was explaining how I was gonna vote Tory. That's the context.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, like
Oh,
you're a Tory then.
Mm-hmm.
Just own it, you fucking bigoted twat.
Yep.
Anyway, this was funny. Lord Sugar, Alan Sugar, billionaire cunt, basically says this guy who emigrated to Britain has become a citizen of the UK. To which Lord Sugar says, amazed that you passed the language test.
What?
Which is funny, considering, as this person points out, he's used the wrong spelling of past there. It's supposed to be double S. So you didn't pass the language test then, Alan. You stupid bastard.
Citizenship revoked.
And also, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay when he's racist to people or just generally xenophobic, but not anyone else. This owl engaged in praxis. Louisiana police officer crashes after owl flies into police car, starts pecking at him.
And he's doing the
Solid
meme.
owl work.
Yeah, and then do it again.
Yeah.
Thing from TikTok.
Yeah, I'll do it again. Yeah, yeah. Owl from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Doesn't narrow it down. There were probably quite a few owls. It's a big place.
Probably.
Oh, this is awful. 97,000 children reportedly test positive for coronavirus in 2 weeks as schools gear up for instruction.
Yep.
So lots of American children are going to die because Donald Trump wants to get reelected.
And potentially a lifetime of health problems. I mean, this
Indeed.
could affect us for generations now because of Trump.
Indeed. This is amazing. I don't hear the anti-authoritarian right speaking about this, but people who threw red paint at a government building are facing, under new criminal charges, life imprisonment.
That's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, that's,
for throwing paint.
That's, totalitarian.
But I just want to point out the murderers of Breonna Taylor aren't facing any charges. They haven't even been arrested. America is a very normal country.
That is teetering over to fascism very quickly.
Indeed. Jimmy Dore's a fucking idiot.
It's still?
Did we know that?
Still? I guess I used to see him on the Young Turks like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah. And he was always a bit of a prick, but you think, well, he's on the Young Turks or whatever, like it's not, but now he's on his own. There's no, he's just, basically, Jimmy Dore is what happens. I tweeted this out. I said he's an idiot. And he's what happens when you think hatred of one political party counts as a personality.
Yeah.
Because all he is the Democrats are evil, garbage, and that's it. That's all he believes. That's his entire philosophy. Yeah, basically, yeah. So, Trump signed this thing. Some of it seems like it's good on the face of it to try and have like a moratorium on evictions and stuff.
It's also completely illegal.
If he actually, almost certainly, like all of his executive orders, they will be challenged and found, at least in part, if not in total, unlawful, because his executive orders are generally shit. But at least in theory, if he follows through on some of the aspects of it, good. Okay, that's going to help a lot of American people, hopefully. Yeah. But almost certainly not. But Jimmy Dore, being an idiot, says this. Trump easily begins to moves to the left of Pelosi and Biden. Trump is doing more than Congress. If he successfully follows through, this will change the race. Jesus fucking Christ.
Here's if Trump wanted to solve this problem, he would be putting pressure on the Republicans in the Senate and Mitch McConnell to pass the vote with enough Republicans and Democratic votes to solve the problem. That is the system. That's the system we have. What Trump is doing is using poor people as a shield to expand his executive power authority far beyond anything that exists in the Constitution, including appropriating the right to sort of like decide on tax and spending, which the Constitution specifically puts with Congress and the House in particular.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. If he wanted to, because he has a lot of power over them. Like Mitch McConnell's is a personal little cum sponge, frankly.
Lindsey Graham.
Like he'll do whatever. And Lindsey Graham, and he uses Dan Crenshaw's fucking eye socket as his fuckhole. That's what he is, and that's what these people are. If he wanted to solve the problem, he could just ring up Mitch and say, "Yo, sign the fucking pass the fucking bill.
Yep.
We need to actually help America." But Jimmy Dore, any vague semblance of economic populism, however hollow, from Trump, Jimmy Dore is feverishly masturbating over the thought that Pelosi might not be just virtue signaling to him. That's it. That's all Trump is doing here, Jimmy. You're an idiot.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck him. Anyway, I already
this one?
told you that one. Tulsi Gabbard is covering the big important issues of the day. I'm glad she's present. Anyway, what's this? Yeah, this was did you see Donald Trump wants to be on Mount Rushmore?
Yes.
Yeah. Trump told Governor Noem, who's is it North Dakota or South Dakota? South Dakota.
Right.
Indeed. In the 2018, in the Oval Office, that he aspires to have his image etched on Mount Rushmore. And that's fine in itself. Every president should aspire for that, to be that great that people remember you, right? And last year, a White House aide reached out to the governor's office with a question. What's the process to add additional presidents to Mount Rushmore?
I completely believe he...
Apparently, he thinks there's a process to that.
I completely agree that I can believe that he sent one of his minions. He's like, he thought that would be a good idea and then tried to follow up on it. That's totally plausible to me.
As if... Donald, have you seen how popular you are? Because I don't think you would get you wouldn't get a fucking sculpture made out of clay from the American people right now.
51% of the respondents to surveys say they don't plan to vote for Trump. Now, of course, it has to be distributed across the states, but no, he's not popular. Nobody likes him.
No, his
base likes him.
One of the most unpopular presidents, certainly in recent times.
Definitely.
Yeah, his base are obsessed. His base probably think, he should be on Mount Rushmore because he told the Muslims to fuck off, and that's it. And he's building the wall. Honest, I believe he's building the wall. Like what? Anyway. So he's a fucking megalomaniacal, narcissistic piece of shite.
By the way,
she didn't work that out over the past 5 years.
Yeah, Fake Queen Corey says every president should aspire to have no faces on Rushmore. Absolutely. I mean, that was
okay. Yeah,
yes, we know what.
I mean, the idea that being honoured in such a grand way would be fitting of your time in office. Every president should want to be that good, to be, the American people remember them in some grand way. But yes, the destruction of, was it the Five Sisters or whatever it was called, the Hills, in order to create that frankly artistic monstrosity is pretty fucked up.
It's a tourist trap for white people.
So yes, basically yes, although to be honest, if I was in the area, I'd go and see it because it's a famous thing, Anyway, but I am white, so I'm not really refuting the point made. Anyway, Toby Young, British quote-unquote journalist who was involved with Carl and various of the other people in this new classical liberal grouping, started what might be the saddest thing in the history of the world. He says, we're introducing a dating forum at lockdownskeptics.org. So singles who feel the same way about the virus can meet and not have to worry about differing attitudes to social distancing.
All right, so they want to get a bunch of people COVID positive. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Oh,
is that the saddest thing you've ever heard?
Yes. Well, it's up there.
That's pretty pathetic. Yeah. Anyway, so if you feeling a little bit weird and suicidal, by all means, the link is there. Yeah, lockdown skeptics. Do you want to see a motherfucker absolutely owning it in the abandoned streets of Dublin.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
This person is fierce.
All right.
Security camera. Someone decided to use it as a catwalk.
Right, you go. Yes, that's right.
There's another angle.
Oh, awesome.
Boom. Look at this move. Boom. Lovely.
Does the sharp
Lovely
turn,
stuff.
waves the arms.
Exactly.
Loving it.
The streets are empty, so fuck it.
Yeah, why
The
not?
bars are all closed because they're COVID. I'm going to absolutely own these fucking streets. Boom. Look at the head turn.
Love
Anyway.
it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. And they said some lunatic, and you said you misspelled icon.
Yes.
True. Very true. Completely abrupt change now.
Mhm.
Dawn Butler, member of the UK Parliament, I think formally, I don't think she's currently a member of the Shadow Cabinet, was stopped by the police and is calling this an example of systemic racism,
Yep.
which, given the story, seems absolutely apt as a description to me, because as a driver in Britain, I was a white person, I've never been stopped. These were stopped, and they then decided to lie. They initially said that the car was registered in Yorkshire. She's an MP for a North London constituency, which is about as far away in England as you can get, really. And they also said the one of the officers said your back windows are tinted and we can't see what's in the back. And they said you don't need to see what's in the back. There wasn't anything illegal. It's, it's all above. But they don't. Yeah, you don't need to see.
Nope. No.
What's going on there?
Having tinted
They then said,
windows isn't probable cause.
That's illegal.
Yeah.
Well, no, exactly. They said that's illegal, to which you said, no, I'm a member of Parliament. I know that isn't illegal. The front windows you can't have tinted because obviously you have to see out of them to, drive a fucking car.
Yeah.
But the back windows you can have tinted, and your side windows at the back you can have tinted. And at which point they realised, oh, this is a member of Parliament. Shit.
I'm fucked.
And yeah, they've been dragged for it.
Good.
And rightly so, because it clearly is racism.
Yes, yes.
If they got wet ass pussy talk, a P word, sorry. Yeah, my wife repeatedly assures me that it's medically impossible for a healthy P word to get wet. True. Very true. This shows you A, how old I am, and B, that I've got absolutely sharp as fuck joke skills. Okay. Smash Mouth frontman Steve Harwell told the crowd, "We're all here together. Fuck that COVID shit." To which I said, "He really isn't the sharpest tool in the shed."
Somebody once told me the world was gonna own me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. So that's a solid joke, which you either totally got or you're thinking, what the fuck are these old bastards on about? Or you've seen
Shrek.
Shrek.
I say, fuck you, young people. Or you say, oh, it was in Shrek,
yes,
of course,
it was.
yeah. So young people probably do know it. Yeah. Okay. More Ben Shapiro. Doing crimes and causing trouble. Look at that.
Aw, so sweet.
Adorable beast. More Ben Shapiro. We mentioned this last time, Michaela Peterson out partying in Serbia. And this is the video that got released of precisely that. You don't need to hear it. Look, that's just her in the club, vaping, naturally.
Because blow really your COVID all over the place. Just blow that COVID everywhere.
Exactly, yeah. So that's just, not exactly doing the social distancing there. Both her and her father now have COVID.
Yep.
Well done. To which this was Rational Disconnect says, watching Michaela Peterson constantly trying and failing to kill her dad is the best dark comedy I've seen in years.
Well, she does seem to be in charge of dragging him all over dodgy fucking places to go to questionable medical facilities. Well, they were in Russia. Yeah, and he was in a coma.
Yeah, they were in Russia, and then then they went to Serbia. What the fuck? Are there any more shady places you want to go to? Mate, have you tried Tajikistan, perhaps? That's out of the way. They're just going to some really odd... No offence to the medical professionals in any of those countries, but they're from Canada. That's a very rich place with lots of very good hospitals.
Yeah, I'm getting the sense that she's the executor of his will. Oh, it was a hookah bar.
Yeah.
Oh, shisha bar.
Is it?
Apparently it was a shisha bar.
Oh, okay. Well, that would make sense that she's doing...
Well, she's vaping
then.
still.
But although that's much less that's very, very unhealthy. If that's
Yeah,
what's actually taking
if
place.
you're gonna
Yeah.
go and smoke shisha, you pass it around. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which is odd because I thought she was doing the all beef diet because it was really healthy. It's fine. All beef and Zoloft
Yes.
is a really good combination
and
of things to
vaping.
have.
Or smoking.
Yeah, Tamanzipan and beef, perfect. Those, by the way, the things I mentioned that you don't know, those are like very, very significant, like painkillers / psychological drugs, which is what Peterson was popping. You know,
Yes.
I don't know the
deal
exact
with-
brand he used, but
Yeah, to deal with his wife having a diagnosis of cancer. Not him, his wife.
yeah.
So-
Well, that's the dragon of chaos. You let women in, and then all of a sudden you become a drug addict.
Apparently.
So he wasn't a drug addict before he got married. Checkmate.
Peterson.
Woms.
Yes. Fruit face.
Anyway, do you want to see something that's simultaneously 120 years old but looks futuristic as fuck?
Yes, because I did see this before and it is awesome to look at.
Oh, you saw it? Okay.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
cool.
In the delightfully German name town of Wuppertal.
Yeah.
In 1902, they had a suspended train thing, which was like a monorail, but upside down. Well, not upside down, but like underneath. And they filmed it, and it looks amazing. Look at this fucking footage
Yep.
from
Isn't it cool?
1902.
I'm about a half hour from Wuppertal by train.
Oh, okay, so pretty close then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at this. It looks like, yeah,
It's awesome.
this isn't real.
I wish they'd build it again.
And it's, yeah, why aren't they doing shit like this?
Probably got
it's
bombed as shit.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, presumably, but I mean, just in general, if you're going to build stuff, because you have to build things. Look at the woman in an old timey
Oh,
frock.
wow, it goes over the
And it's
river.
just, yeah,
I wonder if that's the Rhine. I would assume it is,
amazing.
but it might be like a branch of it. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to build an elevated monorail like that, then you don't have to worry about blocking off traffic, right? As much, because you're not digging up the street to
I
put
think what
in-
they'd be able to do with modern technology, they could probably do some crazy shit with it.
Yeah.
Like it go 200 miles an hour or something.
That's so cool.
Whatever. Anyway, so that is badass. Yeah, I was about to say go and check it out. It's not there. It doesn't exist anymore. Anyway, we already looked at that. This was the Burger King thing, which I mentioned earlier. Homophobic twat, transphobic twat. I don't know who this person is. Anyway, Burger King. In Thought Slime's video, he purposely pronounces Burger King as Burger King, as just a silly comedic humor. And Caleb says, oh, well, clearly he hasn't worked in fast food, even though he's got videos on his channel explaining the time he worked at a Pizza Hut for years and a coffee shop for years and all sorts. Anyway, so it's become a meme. And so the Surf just put this out. It's a Burger King meme, right? Funny. Also, I've just noticed Chairman Mao was the Burger King there. I didn't notice that first time up. Good stuff. Anyway, so Peter Coffin, being a twat, decides, why are you going after the tankies?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, why are you doing this? Weeks now. Not even defending any one picture, just why? Why is it that what leftists do?
You know, what, leftists don't criticize other leftists? Is that the implication?
No. Well, if only Kristi with an E Winters was here,
Yes.
I think she might remember the time that Peter Coffin went after her and Movie Bob pretty harshly.
Weeks after whatever he was mad about, and then called me trash. Yeah. So if
No. He called Kristi with an E so we don't even know who she is. But whoever she is, we went after her pretty hard.
Apparently, you can't criticize tankies, but criticizing, like center-left social democrats, absolutely fine.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, trash. Anyway, Eat Out. We already did that.
I just said center-left relative
I don't want
to
to defend.
Sorry, I did center-left relative to where Peter is on the political spectrum. In America, I would be far left.
Indeed.
In Europe, I'm like not.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No. Anyway, yes, I don't want to. The Lincoln Project are kind of shit, in the sense that they're backed by all kinds of fucking neocon dickheads, but they put out some fire ads. So, should we take a look at one?
Yep.
signing executive orders is not the way our country was supposed to be run. Nobody ever heard of an executive order. Then all of a sudden, Obama, because he couldn't get anybody to agree with him, he starts signing them like they're butter.
Nobody ever heard of signing them like they're butter. Signing them there like butter. What the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah. What is that a thing in America? Do you sign butter? Is that I don't know what that means.
Oh, but
Donald,
Blue Jay in
it's almost like you're an idiot.
Yeah, Blue Jay in the chat says Peter uses they them. Yeah, if I slipped, my apologies. But yes, thank you. Well noted. Just note it. Yeah. If we fuck up unconsciously and we just try to get better, that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Indeed. And it's easy to do because they're male presenting. So
yes,
naturally your mind slips into that.
That's exactly the error I make all the time.
But anyway,
well.
that's...
Yeah. It's unconscious error. Thanks for making it conscious error.
Indeed.
And then we can correct it. Okay.
Indeed. But anyway, do you sign butter in America? Is that a thing that happens?
I don't know what he means. Is using it like butter.
Well, I think he's in his head. He's like hot knife through butter, but it's about signing executive orders. So it's not. But he just thought, well, I'm going to go with it.
Go to butter.
People aren't going to call me. They're at my rallies. They're going to suck my dick as always.
Yep.
Like, who cares? So anyway, but either that or he's just got the mind and grasp of the English language of a toddler.
That could be the case. Well, did you hear what war the? Go ahead.
No, go on.
Oh, did you hear which war Trump thought that the 1917 pandemic, which actually happened in 19, ended?
Yeah, the Second World War. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is
decades
about 40
later.
years out. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not just that, but it didn't end the First World War either, because most of the people that died of that died after the First World War had already ended. Yeah. It started in 1917, but the war ended in like not January, November of 1918.
Yeah.
So. But anyway, yeah. So just wrong on every level.
Yes.
He's an idiot. Yeah. Anyway, should we hear more of his hypocrisy?
Yes, please.
He signs on immigration and on other things. I want to not use too many executive orders, folks. The executive orders are an outrage. We have a president that can't lead. He said, the hell with it. I'm not going to do this anymore. I want to rest and I want to do other things, including going out play golf. This guy played hundreds of rounds of golf.
Oh my God, he's
signing executive.
He's cutting his own ads. He's cutting his own ads. Oh, that got a bit garbled.
Yep. Amazing stuff. What did?
The last bit of the Trump thing got a bit. Yeah, can you hear me? I'm still here.
Yeah. No.
The last of the Trump thing got garbled, but who fucking cares? It's Trump.
Yeah, it's Trump. Anyway. That's me done. I'm done. Yeah.
Oh, apparently the Wuppertal suspended railway is still running after 119 years, according to Sean House. So thanks for that correction.
Is it?
Well, that's what Sean House says. Says Tom Scott's got a
Fuck
video
you,
on
Sean
it.
House. You don't know shit.
Should we look it up? I can highlight it here in the chair. The Wuppertal suspended railway. Better to look at than Milo. So let's have a look at
Well,
that.
true, but you need to share with me, Kristi, otherwise I won't see what you're doing.
Oh gosh, yes. Forget there's so many different pieces to keep, and of course I can't just share it. I have to pick the goddamn screen again. Share. All right, there we go. You should be seeing it now. Can you see that?
Boom. It is still going. Oh my God.
And I guess it didn't. Amazing. I guess it wasn't. Wuppertal wasn't a big enough city to matter to the Allies. So.
And I specifically remember now. Yeah, Churchill said, "Don't bomb the place with the awesome railway thing. Just leave it. We're winning anyway. Who cares?" It was a famous speech. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah. Look at that.
There's a reason that the old retro-futuristic dreams of monorail travel didn't come true. Nowadays, monorails are mostly known as attractions in theme parks or short systems around airports or as impractical, expensive boondoggles. Sydney, Australia actually demolished theirs a few years ago. Sure, monorails looked cool, but objectively, they're a pretty terrible idea.
What?
But in some places in the world, they do work. This is Wuppertal in Germany, where they don't just have a monorail, they have a century-old suspended monorail that still carries around 80,000 people a day along miles and miles and miles of track. Never mind your 1980s dreams of world's fairs. Construction on this started in the 19th century, and it's been kept up to date ever since.
Cool. Cool.
It's like something out of Thunderbirds. There's a fantastic story about it once carrying an elephant, which panicked, fell out into the river, and amazingly survived. So, why are monorails such a terrible idea? Well, compared to other options, they generally fail on cost and reliability. First, you need a constantly elevated track. The term is grade separated along the whole route. Even in the rare case that it's down at ground level, you've got to put huge concrete blocks down for it to run on, rather than just some
totally
rails.
going to this.
And given all that cost, governments generally just build one track. So if something breaks down, the whole system fails and passengers have to be evacuated from a great height. You can solve exactly the same problems as a monorail with light rail that doesn't always need an expensive elevated track, or a tram that can run alongside existing streets with just some rails laid down.
Boo, Düsseldorf.
Or you could just use the simplest option, a bus. Doesn't look as cool though.
I will totally go to Wuppertal, and I will make a video, and I will feature it here on the Happy Hour.
Yeah, make a video about the Wuppertal thing.
Yeah, I'll go for a ride
monorail,
on it.
suspended monorail.
I'll get on. I won't just do it from a distance. I will buy a ticket. I will get on. I will take video, and as much as I can, because it looks freaking awesome. So yeah, that was great. All right, so let me get back to my Twitters. Oh, it's raining. Oh, thank God. I think it's supposed to get to like 19 tonight at around 4 o'clock in the morning here. So, bookmarks. All right, I've got a couple.
Some wet ass cologne.
Yeah. Yes. What
Sorry,
else?
K word.
C word.
K word.
Yeah,
K
cologne.
word.
Köln. Yeah.
It's Köln. Yeah.
Dude. So many toys, so many choices, so little time. This kitty is just overwhelmed with the number of mice and bumblebees and things it can play with. Oh, play with that one for a while.
It's mouse eye.
Too much toys.
ISIS.
Yeah. Very. You're super hyped for that video. Yeah, I mean, it's not that far away. Like I said, I have a friend who, her now husband, was in Wuppertal, and so she would go after work to see him, and so I know it's within like commuting distance from here. So, all right, I decided to do a comparison of a new map of, what is that? Let's see. Oh yeah, Mike Balla is super hyped for that video, of course. This is COVID cases in Germany. Number of cases was like 5 to 10,000. Like, luckily we have very specific hotspots. And then I looked at America because it was centered on Germany because that's where I am. And this is what America looks like.
Oof. So, although I wonder where the Rocky Mountains are.
Yeah. You can tell there are areas that are deep, not populated, but
yeah,
it just
because no one fucking lives there.
Yeah.
So even if everyone got it, it still wouldn't be red. Yeah. Look at Canada. Look at the border.
Yes. Yeah.
Hang on, go back to that.
Yep.
Look at the fucking bit. You could literally tell where the border is.
Yes.
Without the line being there.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And with Mexico.
Yes.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Florida looks like it's infected and about to fall off.
So does parts of Southern California down here.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But,
although, to be fair, the amount of people that live in Southern California is, it's a big country in itself.
Yes.
Basically.
Now, if you have...
if California became independent, it'd be the 5th largest economy in the world?
I think that's at California. Yeah. Yes. 5th or 6th.
Yeah. Which is just amazing. And everyone shits on it. Like, motherfucker, without California, you'd be wrecked.
Yeah.
Georgia is not producing that much for... Fucking Alabama is not producing that much shit, guys.
Yeah.
Like...
Now, even if you have one case, you get a yellow there. But imagine, just where it's bad is when it goes red. So just pick out all of the red and all the way to black.
Yeah, look. Yeah, and they're in there aren't particularly massive cities.
No.
Like I say, you'd expect it in New York, in California, Florida. There's some big places. Yeah. I presume that red dot up there is probably Chicago.
Area.
But there's, Yeah. So there's you would expect that, but there's some not massive places. There's some red there in what looks like, is it something like either Arizona or New Mexico?
Mm-hmm. Getting down.
And you just think Arizona has Phoenix, I suppose, but but there aren't massive places there. You wouldn't expect that much red.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Isn't that depressing?
Anyway, but it's fucked.
Yep.
But look, mean, you don't even need the fucking lines on the map to tell you where the border is.
Nope.
America is essentially doing a kind of self-immolation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, this came out 2 hours ago. More than 800.
No, I'm not. I wasn't dissing Georgia or any of those states or Alabama or any of them. I'm just saying, without California, America's economy would be wrecked. So maybe lay off a little bit with the California bit, you know. And not you specifically, Garuka. I mean, like the right-wing twats.
Yeah. You were talking about Georgia. More than 800 required to quarantine in Georgia school district that doesn't require masks.
See, I am going to rag on Georgia now.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. That's a really stupid thing. What the fuck are you doing? Opening up the schools, like, even if you get them to wear masks, someone pointed out, you'll send a kid to school in one mask and they'll return with another mask because they swapped it with a friend.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, kids, obviously, because they're kids, they're going to do some fucked up shit. They're going to go around spitting at each other, going, "Oh, I'm going to get you COVID." Like, they're fucking idiots. Opening up schools now is like I say, it's self-immolation.
Mm-hmm. There was people, the school district or excusers, anti-maskers were saying masks. Anyway, that the teachers can't enforce the students wearing masks. And the reply that I saw that was great was, if you can enforce spaghetti straps not being worn by your girl students, you can enforce masks. When it's suddenly controlling girls' bodies and their sexuality, you're absolutely fine with sending them at home and making them change and coming back to school. But what, you can't enforce masks? Get the fuck out.
No, you can't ask boys to do stuff. Don't be silly.
They might feel like they're, weak or something. Okay. This next one is so cute because, in all honesty, one of my nephews, I was there the first time he tried Coca-Cola. And it was exactly the same reaction. All right, so we'll watch a little video that is wholesome and make us feel good about ourselves. Here we go. First taste of Coca-Cola. Completely freaking out. Blah! And then goes right back for another sip.
Yeah.
And a big smile right back. So yeah, I just recognized it was so. I thought that was hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Okay, so this is Cardi B related, but not Ben Shapiro related. Somebody edited together, as you can see from this tweet, Star Wars clips with Cardi B sound effects, and it is legit the funniest thing I've ever seen. All right, we ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. It's 24 seconds. It's too short to put it into a big screen, so we're just gonna leave it small.
Scam! Help me! Help!
That was genius.
That's good. All right, kitten with a drinking problem. It can't figure out how to get.
It's taking a bath instead. Got some on its face, that'll do.
Yeah. I thought that was adorable.
That is. That is.
Chris Evans, not Captain America. More white men being jerks. White people.
No, you've got to let me do the Captain America joke.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, you preempted it now.
This guy, his son, has to get between him and a manager. And look at this, just read his body language. You don't even need the volume on this. Yeah. And see what
Well, not just that, but he continues to, shit talk as his son picks him up. It kind of loses a bit of its edge when you're being carried out.
Pretty much. Yeah, you're not so tough.
His son has to, pick him the fuck up and, carry him out. But he carries on. He carries on shouting. His feet are on the floor.
Let me at him. Let me at him.
What are you going to do exactly? You're going to knock him out? Your son's literally got physical control of your body at this point.
Yep. Hey, remember how Britain isn't a racist country, according to that dumbass actor and lots of fragile white people in Britain?
Lawrence Fox, yes. It's totally not racist. It's just that, during the COVID crisis, which has killed God knows how many people, we're talking about migrants.
Yep.
Obviously.
Almost half of Britons say they have little or no sympathy for migrants who've been crossing the channel from France to England.
Because they're garbage, yeah.
It was
I think it's good that you're pointing out to the viewers, but you didn't need to tell me.
Yeah.
I'm fully aware that this country is full of dog shit people.
Yeah. People in denial.
They voted for Brexit.
Yeah, if you want to talk about white fragility. Come on, you can start.
Yeah, exactly.
There.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah,
yeah, that's
like
right.
Who sees that? Who sees them so desperate? They're in like obviously unseaworthy crafts, desperately risking their lives to get here, and like, nah, fuck them.
Also,
the fact that they've only become immigrants because we bombed them in the first place, doesn't have any impact either. Like, fuck that.
Also, they don't know.
Look at the conservative voters.
Yeah.
Not much or none. 3/4 scum. Just scum.
Yeah.
Leave voters exactly the same.
Yep. No, and you have no idea what they might be claiming asylum. You have no idea what someone's status is, or their reasons for fleeing, or the legal protections they're entitled to on the laws, based under the laws of your country. Yeah. And also like humanitarian laws. I think the UN might have some guidance or recommendations or positions. Yeah, if you can punish a teenage girl for spaghetti straps, you can enforce a mask mandate. Yeah.
Just to HK, when was Coke first bubbleized? It isn't bubbleized. That's how it comes out of the milk. The cow, the Coke cow. When you milk a Coke cow, it comes out like that. So.
All right. So libraries have put together an ad, which I have to say, the sound on it is rubbish. I'm sorry. Like I should have been their sound engineer, their audio director, because I would have done such a better job. But it's still, I appreciate the spirit and the enthusiasm of it.
All right, Trump, calm down.
So here we go.
I'm the best sound engineer in the world.
Well, no,
people can't believe how great a sound engineer I am.
No, it would just be better than this.
Jesus.
It would just have been better than this.
Okay.
But okay, so this is a local library ad encouraging people to come use the curbside service. So here we go.
Hey folks, Curbside Larry here at the Barbara Bush Library, and we're crazy with curbside service. That's right, we got shelves and shelves of books, Blu-rays and DVDs, and we'd like nothing better than take care of all your reading, research, and entertainment needs. Bestsellers! We got them! Are you tired of streaming movies and want to go old school? We got hundreds and hundreds of Blu-rays and DVDs just for you. And did I mention books? There's too many to name. We got fiction and non-fiction. Picture books. We got them. We'll let you know when you're out.
Whoa, Bye Pagan Man, are you breaking news in our chat that Biden chose Harris? Are you actually breaking news? I'm going to have to check this out. Sorry. I'll just type Biden. He might be playing with us.
No, fuck this noise, right?
We'll finish this and then we'll go back.
The important news is to continue the advert from the fucking libraries.
All right, here we go.
Items are ready, then give us a call. We'll schedule a time for you to pick them up. It's crazy how easy it is. Board books, we got them. Here at the Barbara Bush Public Library, we circulate more.
See what I mean about the sound? You can tell. You can totally tell.
But as we know, the acoustics in the Barbara Bush Library aren't great.
Oh my God, it is. It's Kamala.
I think you're being harsh.
Biden here. Big news. I've chosen Kamala Harris as my running mate. Together with you, we're going to beat Trump. Feels good. Okay. Yeah. It feels good. I've been supporting her since the primary, so...
You are the queen of the K-Hive.
Well, I know what Americans will vote for, and I thought that's a great. And if she wasn't going to win Iowa, whatever, going forward, she is a good pick. It's going to inoculate Biden against charges that he's like under the control of Antifa. He can't be both too tough on crime and wanting to defund the police at the same time. So anyway, okay, I'm in a good mood. Right, here we go.
Books than any other library in the Harris County Public Library System. What's it going to take to put you into a biography or science fiction today? Don't have a computer? Then just give us a call. We're here for you. Romance. We got them. And what's all this cost? Just 3 low payments of $000 $0. It's crazy how much you get for free. Here at the Barbara Bush Library, we're here for you, Harris County, or my name isn't Curbside Larry.
Isn't that great? Isn't that absolutely
Curbside
great?
Larry, nice.
I love it. I thought that was a great way to kind of promote the library and its services during lockdown.
Yeah.
So, I am happy. Oh, this is amazing. This is really good, too. I have a lot of fluff for you guys. And then I have some homophobia, sadly. Sorry, not homophobia, transphobia. Which, again, emotional curve. Okay. So we're going to just make this big.
Well, what we need, combine the two. Are there any transphobic cats around?
No, sadly. Well, not sadly.
Because that
happily.
would be really... What a head fuck that would be for people. Like, oh, it's cute, but it's a turf.
Yes, a turf cat. No, don't ruin cats that way. All right, here we go. Ooh. That's really soft. You want to see that one?
I was not expecting. I was like, maybe it's gonna like stamp its hoofs on the ground to the beat, and like, but I wasn't expecting the music to cut out and it do the. Yeah, oh my god.
You want to see it one more time?
I think my vagina has literally prolapsed because of that laughter.
One more time, just now that you know it's coming.
Go on then. Yeah. Also, what the fuck is that deer doing?
Yeah.
I'm just going to fit through this tiny little gap for no reason. Fuck
yeah,
it.
they do that a lot. They're not smart.
Oh.
So sorry, emotional change. Really sorry here. Jenna Ellis, I actually reported this as hate speech under German law, so I don't know what's going to happen, but I did my bit. Senior legal advisor of the Trump team being completely transphobic and disrespectful and a piece of shit. So, news at 10.
Also, mentioned that she works for Liberty University. An update from last week with Falwell. He's been put on indefinite leave.
Oh, yes.
By Liberty University.
Yes, and they've replaced him. Like, they've nominated a replacement.
Yeah, like he's not coming back. Like because I mean, how can they hold a consistent line on anything when he's obviously like being sexually weird with people and being drunk in public and stuff,
Yeah, he's totally a weirdo. You want to read this one out, Kevin? Thought you might appreciate this.
The Kentucky, which is a type of chicken, so I don't even know what the fuck it's harsh. The Kentucky Ark required 900 pounds of structural steel braces to keep it from ripping apart in 10-mile-an-hour winds. I wonder what Noah used on his boat. Yeah, well, they used cranes to like put it together.
All right. Yes.
Yeah, it's. I mean, they know that a boat of that size, even if you could build it without modern technology, is not seaworthy. A boat that big made of wood would sink. Sorry, go on.
No. It's completely in terms of engineering, it would twist itself apart on the waves. Because
it wouldn't even. The water pressure would mean that it would take on water before it left even the harbour, just sat still in a wet harbour and sink. Because the water pressure, the bigger the boat, the more weight it is, the more it sinks, the more the water pressure is. And you can't force wood together, even with tar and rivets and all sorts of things. You can't force the wood close enough together to withstand that pressure, so it would take on water and sink. Yeah. So you can't build a wood boat that big.
Yes.
You can build steel boats a million times bigger. There are some fucking some of these tankers are massive. The ones with the container ships and stuff. There's like one that's so big that there's only 4 ports in the entire world it can fit into.
Yep. I mean, it's
anyway,
all
sorry, but
it's good. It's fine.
But, yeah.
Get your science education
Sorry.
at the happy hour. No, don't apologize.
Exactly. I am one of the world's foremost dilettante shipwrights. So.
All right. So when your cat doubles as a shepherd dog, you ready? I don't think there's any
Okay.
sound. Oh. Time for the doggies to come in is basically what's happening here. 2 of them being good dogs, making their way in the house, and the cat's like, fuck this, I want this door shut. I am tired. Oh, wait. First, stretch it out, warm up. Do a warm up, right?
Exactly. You don't want to pull a muscle.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh, you dickhead. Dickhead. Get in. Go on.
Basically. And I'm going to sit here so you can't go down the steps again.
Yeah.
Looking pissed off. Its ears
No,
are
the
back
cat's
as well.
locked out.
Oh, yeah, he wanted to be outside. It's fine. He gets in his other.
It's
his
probably a
own
cat
ways.
flap, I imagine.
Yeah. Trump says 17 pandemic ended the Second World War. Cops are shit. Some cops are really fucking assholes. Some cops are fucking bastards. Pointing guns at black teens who had actually been attacked. Because, black skin means they must be doing wrong with racist fucking cops like this asshole.
Exactly. Existing while black. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, this was kind of cool. It's a stick bug dancing. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I just
wasn't
thought it was
expecting
fun.
that.
No, I try to bring you stuff that you don't expect, Kevin. That's what the happy hour, Kristi's Twitter feed or bookmarks are all about.
Well, yeah, obviously, Haruka, we know the Ark didn't literally ever exist. The point is, even with modern technology, they had to use fucking cranes and shit, 10-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah.
Do you think the wind might get up a little bit more on the high seas? Yeah, obviously, it never existed. Of course not. No.
Name this rom-com. Wrong answers only. Rom-com, I should say.
Oh,
yeah.
Dawn of the Dead.
I like that. Good. Yeah. Ted Cruz is a piece of shit. That's well known.
I wonder if she'll finally get her Aryan Jew-bait.
Yeah. Maybe.
That's the thing she said.
Yes,
I'm
you're
not
quoting
saying that.
her.
She, the Jewish person, said that. So, yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Oh yeah, just the point that Bill O'Reilly used that tactic to put up a Beyonce video of her being sexy while condemning it. He turned out to be a sexual predator. Just saying. Yeah. All right. This.
I don't think Ben Shapiro is interesting enough to do anything at all. I don't think sex doesn't factor into his existence.
Maybe not. Yes, possibly. I'm just saying that there are some
He had a
parallels.
paternity test, because I'm not sure he's not a virgin. He doesn't seem to understand how vaginas work.
Clearly
so,
not.
I mean,
Clearly not. Has lots of lube next to the bedroom drawer in their house. All right, so this dog, this is a...
I feel sorry for its wife, genuinely.
All right, obedience training. Here we go. Has to do the triple SoCal before he can.
Fair enough.
Yeah, very excited. Oh yeah, this is a ferret. Let me hit pause on this. The ferret is so happy at all the balls he gets to play with. Here we go.
Awesome.
Look at his little mouth.
They caught the mouse. Oh, that's Genie. Caught the mouse.
So that's basically it. It's just a ferret going, "Oh my god, I'm in heaven." That's it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, this is about black people in Portland saying they're struggling to be heard amid protests. We want the same thing, but we often get drowned out. This is just about white people and allyship, and being an ally. I think that's important to say. Portland needs to be about Black Lives Matter. You know, it has to stay focused on.
Kristi, all lives matter.
Yeah,
Don't be silly.
Except when it comes to wearing a mask. Then they don't.
Exactly, yeah. All lives matter except the ones that I don't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
Actually, we had, talking about I mentioned briefly the migrant hysteria that's going on in Britain at the minute. The same people are like, no, these people need to fuck up. We've got homeless veterans. What are they doing to help homeless veterans? The same people who look at homeless people and be like, fuck them. They need to get a job. Yeah, all lives matter, eh, mate? Yeah.
Hey, Kenneth, just so you know, By Pagan Man pipped you to the post, but yes, we have, we know that it's going to be Biden-Harris 2020, so.
Yeah, Kenneth. Get up to date. Kenneth.
If you're just joining the stream.
Thanks, Ken. I'm only playing.
Yes. Hey, here's some good news. VDare suspended from YouTube, and and this time it's permanent. They terminated their account.
Yeah, awesome.
Dun, dun, dun.
Another brick bites the dust. Yep. But we stopped doing that, so because the statue stopped falling. So.
Hey, you remember how all lives matter?
Yes.
Well,
all of them.
According to dodgy stock sales Kelly Loeffler, who also told her own players that not to have an opinion or something when it comes to Black Lives Matter, college and universities and athletic conferences need to put politics aside and come together to find a way to safely play college football this season. The players want to play. Shouldn't their voices be heard too?
Exactly. I mean, as Ben Shapiro actually pointed out, the politics in sport needs to get out of the way, right? What we want is a massive American flag in the center of the pitch, play the national anthem, have a military parade, and fly over from the American armed forces and have a jingoistic circle jerk. But if you could keep your politics out of that situation for us, that would be awesome.
Yeah, except, yes, it's always conditional on whatever they want the argument to be. When it's...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Can you keep your... We're having a military appreciation day at the NFL right now, so if you could keep your politics aside, please.
Yes. Also, I'm kind of surprised...
I'm joking, of course, because those things I mentioned are obviously political. So.
I'm surprised you missed this. Maybe we just didn't get into your bookmarks deep enough, but when he's not talking about wet-ass P-word, he's trying to set up fake recruitment websites for Antifa. Join Antifa today.
He's the ultimate. Yeah, that's again, as the CEO of Antifa, this is legit. We are a hierarchical organization where you can have official membership. We're not a loose collection of people against anti-fascists who take, direct action and put their own lives on the line. No, we are a real, actual organization. Honest.
Yep. People just looked at the source code on the website and it lists his email address.
Oh,
that's how they found out it was him.
Oh, you absolute twat.
Yep, the fake sign up for Antifa is Ben Shapiro. Yeah. So, he's such a piece of shit.
What's this? But these again, the projection on the right of talking about fake news is amazing.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, he is trying to be an agent provocateur. He's trying to.
Oh yeah, and he misspelled fascists as well.
Yeah.
If you scroll back.
Oh yeah,
Brilliant.
Thank you, Ruka. I missed that.
What we need to do is fight back against the mega fascists.
The fascists are so dangerous.
The fascists. Exactly. These people wanting faces to exist are a fucking threat to our way of life.
Oh, thanks for that, Haruka. Hey, Lauren Chen is a
Which is why anti-face go around punching people in the face. Because they're fascists.
That must be
makes sense. All the pieces fall into place. Oh.
It's amazing how little conservatives actually read. Like they'll go, "Hey, I wonder why this is a thing," and then not actually read the fucking thing. So she writes, "Attractive people are more likely."
Yeah, because they just react to stuff.
Yeah. Yes, they just react. They don't think. She wrote a tweet saying, attractive people are more likely to identify as conservatives. I've actually wondered about this when seeing the Antifa mugshots Mr. Andy No posts. But what's the cause? Does being unattractive inherently make people more open to redistributive and collectivist thinking? Now she's quoting the fucking article. She's quoting the fucking article right here. And as someone points out, if you read it, it says, because attractive individuals benefit from social interactions and are generally given more attention and granted more expertise, their passage through life may be easier compared with less attractive individuals. Therefore, on average, they may not recognize the challenges others face in life. In a sense, attractive individuals have a blind spot that leads them to not see the need for more government support or aid in society. Given that this is one of the tenets of more liberal citizens, as well as supporters of the Democratic Party, we would expect that more attractive individuals would develop a worldview that is less supportive of government intervention and aid to others. Fucking morons.
She's an idiot then,
Yeah.
Although, to go back to a previous point, as Theria points out in the chat, that's why fascists don't want to wear masks. They're diabolical scheme. It makes sense now.
They're pro-face.
Exactly. Ugh, outrageous.
I picked a bad time to chew. Sorry. I'm trying to eat out more.
That's what she said,
Yeah.
literally. I mean, you just heard her. So, yeah. Jeff Falwell Jr. out indefinitely at Liberty University after unzipped
Pants episode. Yes.
That's what it says.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Oh, AG Bar is psychopathic. Jeff Feck is replying to Laura Penny, who says, "Ooh, yes, please sign me up. I've got the quarantine abs now. I can give someone a princess list. How men who wear masks and are socially distant are like in a relationship, because apparently this is a bad thing. But as Jeff Fecky points out, men who socially distance are in loving relationships with pretty Amazons. Man, what an incredible burn."
Yeah, that's outrageous. They're in a committed relationship with a attractive person. Oh no, I wouldn't want to be like that.
Yeah, there were some surveys, but they've already expired. And then I got some cats. It's got a weird meow, this one.
That's not even a meow. That's a fucking alien.
I would think that was some sort of tiny little boat that couldn't get started.
No, cute. That's clearly a small alien in a slightly larger catsuit. So the aliens that run the world had the right idea. Come in a human suit. They went, nah, fuck it, tiny catsuit.
All right. Okay, so
mistake.
Yes.
Mistakes were made.
Oh, this is a kitty versus unicorn pig. Just a little kitty. And I think we're gonna probably leave it there. I think we've covered all the big news of the day. Boom. Very sweet. Just kitten time, that's all. Alright. Yep, that's gonna be the end. Yeah, so, thank you. Yeah, we've been going for 2.5 hours. That's enough. And plus, I want to show you, I did save some more.
I'm still broadcasting.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, well, no, I just hadn't checked in like an hour.
Yeah, so I'm gonna off air, if Kevin wants, I can show him a couple more episodes of the Manitowoc Minute. But otherwise, that's it. Like, I've got my usual D&D and my Sunday show. I ended up instead of doing a video on the debate, I did it here on the happy hour, so I don't have anything else coming up in the near future. How about you, Kev? You're on Twitch a lot. You did something on Sargon recently.
Well, I did. It was Sargon the communist, because someone sent me a thing. He read out the Communist Manifesto. He did a reading on his backup channel, and it was just very funny to hear him say, "Workers of all countries unite." That was amazing. And there was a spectre haunting Europe, the spectre of communism, and him not to go, "Oh, cucks," or something, because he was literally just reading. He was doing like a audiobook version or whatever. Anyway, so that was funny, and but also covered Caleb Moppin, who's the homophobic guy we saw earlier in my bookmarks.
Okay.
Yeah, and the whole Burger King mess. I looked at some of his videos. He's garbage. He's a Nazbol. He was speaking alongside a guy called Alexander Dugin, who's was the founder of the Nazbol movement.
Yes. Also, Fake Queen Corey.
And basically agreeing with him.
Yeah. Fake Queen Corey in the chat reminds me, I've got a video about a suspended train ride to do in future. So yes, that's coming up. My Wuppertal visit.
That's true.
Yes.
The Wuppertal Express, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yes. Yes.
My Twitch channel name is, hang on, I can find that for you. It's at KFLogan1875. It's linked under all of my videos. You can go and subscribe to the thing and that.
And also, yeah, thanks, you guys. I appreciate the breaking news here on the Happy Hour. Thanks for helping keeping us a breaking news channel. And yeah, we've got a vice president. Now we can get over it and move fucking on. I'm so sick of this conversation. I've been sick of it for 3 weeks or 4 weeks already. So I'm just happy because like nobody gives a fuck about the vice president. I'm sorry, no one has ever decided that. The vice president's never decided an election. In 2 weeks, we're not even going to remember this anymore.
No.
So I'm just glad to have it behind us.
Well, I love the old phrase. I forget who said it, but about vice presidents, they said there were two brothers. One went off to sea, and the other became vice president, and neither was heard of ever again.
Yeah. I think one of the vice presidents said the job is worth a warm bucket of spit.
Yes. Although one interpretation of that quote says warm piss.
Oh,
but they might have been changed so it was more family friendly.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. It was
it was Shapiro.
Yeah, a bucket of warm P word.
Or I should say Shapiro, because there's not an O in sight.
Shapiro, Ben Shapiro. There's no O anywhere near Ben. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Anyway, we're done.
Yeah, we are. So thanks to the chat. Thank you to my co-host as always, Kevin. And yeah, goodbye from me and goodbye from the Kevster. Say goodbye, Kevster.
Goodbye, Kevster.
There was a slight delay, but he did the bit.